All right. Here we are. We're going to be watching. This is the schedule for today. So it looks like we're starting with Cyberpunk. Going to see some stuff about Stalker 2. That's great. Armored Core 6 is going to be in there. I don't see anything about Starfield, unfortunately, in here. But I do know that I think a little after this, actually it's going to be like 2.5 hours after this, according to Bethesda. Let me pull that up for myself. Bethesda shows that they're streaming at 8:30 the Starfield Known Facts with Pete Hines. So I'll probably be switching over to the Starfield Twitch stream at that point in time. I might just pull that up just so I have it. Holy shit. Real quick, check this out. The guy's holding a Starfield mic from, what's it called? Elgato? It's an Elgato mic? I'm gonna look this up. Sure enough, that mic exists. It's $170 on Elgato. I think it's sold out though. What kind of builds are you guys looking forward to? Yeah. Finally. Shooting in cars should have been in there in the first place. I assume also on PlayStation and PC. It's a Hitman? I've already seen this before. I'm going to show real quick. Here's the Elgato mic. The Wave 3 Starfield style. Real cool looking. I wonder if I do this. Hey! It's still not in English. And I don't even have the options to buy it. So anyways, there's that. Let's see. Ooh. Bring this over here real quick. Where'd it go? Nope. This. They're talking about it. Oh, they're interviewing someone. We might be switching between streams a little bit here. I don't really care about League of Legends, so I'm gonna maybe move back. We'll go back to this. Seriously, they need to come out with more custom Xbox Series X consoles, more collector's versions. I feel like they made a big deal about the Series X, and then they've done less special stuff with it than the Xbox One. There we go. Oh. Poor ducky. I'm gonna turn this up a bit. Oh, this game looks fun. Looks just nice. What the fuck? Aww. Little big mode. Oh, geez. What's going on? Oh shit. Is the sound not working? What the hell? Can you guys hear anything other than me?
As you awaken the living thing and the nature in the game to help you climb, and so in gameplay you also awaken it to awaken the tower. And besides being made of water, the ballast is actually the only thing here that shares the bond with the tower and with the nature. So it's kind of representing it's like a symbolism about the link with the nature, the relationship with the nature that we kind of have lost so far.
Yeah, that's so interesting as well. Chat, I hope you're all enjoying some Jusant gameplay. Gameplay as well. I'd love to see some opinions as well. This is so exciting that this is going to be coming past to play Jusant.
Don't
then
you go down on me.
Exclamation mark day one. Good luck, everyone.
So now we are approaching a very tricky area because, yeah, if you're afraid of height, then don't look down. Or maybe you should look down for the people, Matt. So
Matthew's not afraid.
The tools we were talking about earlier, the fun is that you need to combine them to overcome the challenge that we're talking about. So here you swing over, and then you can wall run, you can use the pebbles, but if you don't want to, then it's your choice. You can do otherwise.
Yeah.
You can go on the left with your rope, and now you can throw an eco to go up again. It's actually very free. We try to, through our gameplay, we try to give the possibility for players to actually climb at their own pace. You're designing your own flow, so it's up to you how you want to climb. And one thing that we made sure of is you can't die. And the rope is actually creating some kind of bound between you and the tower.
Okay.
And without the rope, you can climb, but without, I mean, if you fall, it will hold you back. So you can't die. So you can't die in Jusant. It's actually not very necessary. And for us, because we wanted to create some kind of meditative vibe, the death was not part of the design.
That's lovely. And then you've just reattached the rope to your next checkpoint.
One thing that we can mention here is what Mathieu did is what we call a relay. It's actually a term that you can use also in climbing. The people are creating relay to, help other people when they are climbing high. And we use the feature in our game to actually give you the possibility to fully recharge your stamina, when actually before that you need to be fit on the ground to do so. So it's actually making you climb longer, and it's actually also creating some kind of checkpoints that you made sure that you won't fall anymore.
Yeah.
And you can also use, like it did, the rope as a grapple. You can use it as a magnet, so you can grapple where you see this kind of stuff.
Very versatile then. I'm curious, do you guys climb yourself then? If you, there's a lot of thought in here.
Not really, but
well, sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you do some in the research?
1, 2 years, just at the beginning of the process.
Like 1 year ago, maybe 2 years ago, we started to climb, but not professionals, definitely.
Definitely
just for fun. That's cool. So yeah, you mentioned just then about using like the pebbles, that are alive, as well as you're climbing up the plants and stuff, and the environments look really beautiful, as well as, I guess, different ways to solve each of the puzzles that you're talking about too.
And also, what we try to do is, since we are telling the story of a bygone civilization, every props or every object that you use to climb was actually used by the people before. So so that's why you use the rope so much, because we try to tell a story about a vertical society, a vertical life, and everything was made to make sure that people are able to climb. So you're just using that back, and it's a way to move upwards and downwards.
Nice.
And now Marty is going to show us how he can dance among the peoples, because we designed this particular wall made fully of pebbles. So you need to play with your rope, with your pythons. You need to use everything you have in hands to make sure you overcome the wall and finish that.
Oh gosh, look how cute. I'm obsessed with how cute everything is in this game already.
And I don't know if people notice, but so if you use the echo, people stop for a moment. So that gives you the opportunity to kind of pause the game and relax, observe where you can go, and go back climbing again.
Make your next move, figure out your next move stuff. That's so cool. So the different, I guess, little puzzles or environment sections, can you choose different ways to climb up?
Yes, you can.
Is there multiple?
Yeah, you definitely can. And we have different biomes. This is the second one. People had the chance to play to the first one in the public demo, and we have others. And each biome has specificities. The environment will change, and this is how we bring gameplay variations into our game. So I hope that guys are excited to see what's next.
Yeah.
What are the biomes made of?
For sure. I'm really excited more about the your ballast abilities too. So maybe you can't speak about it just now, I won't push you, but it would be really cool to see if there's like new abilities and how that affects the rest of the game.
Yeah, actually we saw kind of everything, because what we try to do is give all the players at the beginning all the tools they needed, and then you need to stick with it, and as designer, as developers, we bring the variation through the environment, because it's actually a kind of a short game, so having upgrades or whatever, it wouldn't have make sense. Besides, with the message that we are trying to tell, it didn't fit in the mood, since we are trying to bring a meditative vibe. you know, a chill game, chill out game.
Upgrading
like other games do, it wasn't our cup of tea. So it's better to have few tools that you have from the beginning, and then you have time to master them. You have time to get used to it, and then we are here to trick you into some habits. And yeah.
I love that. It does. It feels so peaceful already as well. So this is one tower that we're climbing up just now. Is there like different sides that we could explore? Is that quite a key element to the game as well?
We have few secondary paths where you find more about the lore and the story, but it's not an open world game, so you know it's fine.
Yeah.
But we worked really hard on the vistas and make sure that people
had
the time to enjoy the environment we were designing.
They're
also,
us,
what Matt did is something that we
so
like to do ourselves is, you know, looking back,
I'm going to switch over to the
realize how much you have climbed and how much is left as well. And we hope that guys will be enjoying as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's like some time elements as well as this maritime theme of water coming and going then as well? Something like that?
Not about water, you said? Sorry.
Like the time that you're saying, you can look back at, I guess, the progress you've made and stuff, as well as like the water leaving and things.
Yeah, you can find traces of this. So.
Nice.
And for the people, I hope they also enjoy the music, because we worked very hard with a French composer called Guillaume Ferrand. He's watching us. I say, hey. And he actually understood very well how what were our intentions, what we were trying to tell, what story is behind it, and he composed very beautiful music and OST. So
so sound and music is quite an important element to the setting, like and stuff.
Because it sets off the mood as well. Is when you're playing, you're hearing like a nice piano music. It helps bring the chill out experience, right?
Amazing. It does. I'm so chilled already just playing with you guys today. Do you know, I cannot wait to play some Jusant as well. I hope chat feel the same way as well.
I hope so.
Kevin, Mathieu, thank you so much for showing us some Jusant today. That's been so good.
Thank you for having us.
No worries. I have one last question for you guys, and that would be, when can we play it then?
Actually, the game will be released on the 31st of October.
Wow!
Yeah, so you can pre-order it right after now, I guess.
Hey! Yes. How exciting! There we go.
So I hope don't hesitate to press the button. And 2 months from now. 2
months from now. I can't wait. Guys, thank you so much again.
Thank you for having us.
Awesome. Next up, we're venturing back into the dark place with Alan Wake 2. But first, here's just one more look.
Oops, paused it. Oops. Sorry. Gotta look at all my different game launchers for where they're selling it. Return to Moria is out. Oh no. Available for pre-purchase. Never. It's only $60. Didn't they get the memo that games are supposed to be $70 now?
It's the game that made fans everywhere jump more than a few times and showcased its own unique horror episodic style. Here to show us what Alan Wake has been up to these last 13 years are two of the minds behind its sequel from Remedy Games, writer and creative director Sam Lake and game director Kyle Rowley. Welcome to you both. First off, how are you? Are you well?
Thank you. Thank you. Great Gamescom.
Yeah.
Very happy to be here.
Yeah.
Given that Alan Wake's journey began with Xbox.
There
and
we go,
Microsoft.
back on the green carpet, chatting about it again.
feels proper to be here.
It feels correct, doesn't it? Yeah, wonderful. Right, well, while we're going to be talking, we're actually going to be having some gameplay on in the background for the Twitch chat to have a look at. It's going to be some new at Gamescom footage we're going to be going through. So while that's on, I'd love to talk a little bit more about some of the new elements that fans can expect to see in Alan Wake 2.
Sam, you want to start?
Yeah. I mean, it is a sequel, but also, given that it comes out 13 years after the first game, there are plenty of new elements.
Let's go through them all one by one.
we really felt that we want to create a modern experience, and we could not have done this game. We have been building concepts of Alan Wake 2 through all of these years.
It's not like you picked it up last week and decided to do something with it.
But this one, we could not have made before building Control first, which was our previous game. A lot of learnings with each project that we were able to then bring into this one. Elements like hub-like design for the environments, the whole game genre being a horror game now, a lot more ambition on interactive storytelling in this. And the concept of Remedy Connected Universe, which we established with Control. So Control and Alan Wake belong into the same world, and there are connection points and crossover elements in it.
Oh, how exciting. I also want to touch very slightly on the name itself, because Alan Wake 2, it's a sequel, but the name is very fitting, and because, as I say, not only is it a sequel, but you play as two characters. So I was wondering who wants to tell me about Saga and how their story intertwines with Alan.
Yeah, there are a lot of tools in this experience. Two playable characters.
It's a recurring theme.
Yes. Alan Wake, of course, but then our new Remedy hero character, FBI agent Saga Anderson, who comes in and the player with her comes into this experience playing Saga. She is a newcomer to this supernatural world of Alan Wake. She knows nothing before. She's a profiler, FBI agent, comes in to investigate these ritualistic murders in the Pacific Northwest. And then it starts to spiral out of control from there. So we have two worlds, essentially. We have the Pacific Northwest. We have three separate hub areas. The small town of Bright Falls. The majestic Cauldron Lake, this Caldera Lake, and the surrounding forests, and then the neighboring town of Watering.
So I'm going to switch over
and
to
you get to explore all of these hub areas.
I love that you were describing them as these beautiful places to go check out. They're going to be horrific naturally, right?
It's a wonderful place to go on a vacation.
I don't think you're telling me the truth at all.
I think we had in the art direction Bible, we said terrifyingly beautiful was one of the things that we were kind of like talking about.
Well, once again, kind of two extremes coming together.
The juxtaposition of it.
Exactly. Like us on stage.
Exactly. I mean, you're doing it right now.
I mean,
exactly. I feel like I should have put a tie on.
All carefully considered.
It's the theme that runs through the whole of our lives, I think.
But yeah, like a lot of duality, light and darkness, obviously at the very core of Alan Wake experience.
Let's go over here.
And to answer some of the tough questions fans have been curious about, ladies and gentlemen, Phil Spencer right here with me. How are you doing?
Awesome. I'm looking at all the people. This is such a cool setup because all the people on the Gamescom floor are right there. It's cool. I appreciate you guys having a booth here on the floor. It's awesome.
So we're going to talk hardware services and such, but you just had this big announcement about some sort of CMA issue where you're partnering with Ubisoft. What does that mean for video games like if the Activision deal closes? Can you just explain it to me, because I don't get it?
Fundamentally, we are trying to bring more games to more people, and we think doing the deal with Ubisoft, which frees up one of the concerns at the CMA, which is the UK regulatory board where acquisitions get handled, will allow more games to go to more people. We've always thought we would do that as well, but Ubisoft's a good partner. We know them. They're independent from us, so we say any kind of concerns that we may dictate where the games go, hopefully is alleviated now, and allow us to continue to move forward in what we're working on with the deal. We still have work to do there, but we think it's a good step, bring more games to more people, which has been what this is about.
So if I want to play, is it just cloud streaming, or will it have an impact on Game Pass?
It is the rights that will go to Ubisoft when the deal closes are the cloud streaming rights for ABK games.
So Call of Duty, I can still boot that up on Game Pass potentially once the deal closes.
Yeah, on ABK, I'm going to a different answer now just because of the way you asked that. I want to make sure people know that there's work to actually move games to Game Pass. So for people who think like the deal's going to close
October 18th,
then everything's available to Game Pass. That's not true. Like so. And it hasn't been true in other acquisitions that we've done. Like there's work for us to go do, just mechanical work for us to go do. So it will take us time, definite time, to get the games before. But this has nothing to do with making native games available in Game Pass. This is all about the Ubisoft relationship, is all about the cloud streaming rights for ABK games.
Well, that
ABK being Activision Blizzard King. It's really Activision and Blizzard since they have the kind of pay-to-play games.
That makes me feel a lot better. Thanks, CMA, for making it super confusing. But anyway.
But let me say, it's in addition to other deals that we've done, right? Like GeForce and Boosteroid, Ubisoft, other deals. I think there's like some GeForce announcements going out now about our PC games starting to hit there. So if you're a GeForce Now subscriber and you're a Game Pass subscriber, you're starting to be able to stream the PC versions of those games, which I think is an awesome part of this as well. Getting more games to more people has been what this is about. Not taking games away from PlayStation. I know there's like, that's not what it is. We look at the success of Xbox as how many people are playing Xbox games, and that's important to us.
Yeah, I mean, if you took them on PlayStation, you would literally lose money.
That we would.
Yeah,
it's never been in the plan. I mean, I've had to wear a suit and tie. People have like seen all that stuff. We're not there anymore.
You look very fancy. Let's talk Xbox Series X. So the console's 3 years old. Where are we at with the timeline of the console? Are we at the beginning? Are we in the middle?
I think we're kind of at the end of the beginning, like if that makes any sense. I think the kind of supply issues early on lengthened the beginning to some extent, both on cost as well as just availability. I think from a game dev standpoint, not just us, but third parties, you're really just now starting to see the swell of games that got slowed up through COVID production now starting to launch. I think we have like 85 games launching in the industry between now and like tomorrow, right? It seems like there's so many games coming right now that we're starting to get through the beginning of this generation and hopefully into a place where as an owner of a console, you've got games that are taking full advantage of the hardware and are great games for people to go play. And I look at the lineup over the rest of this year from third parties alone, and it's fantastic.
What's next for gaming hardware? Like, are better graphics still enough to differentiate?
I think better graphics, more realistic feel will always be important. I also love that different form factors are coming out. I thought what Valve did with the Steam Deck was awesome. I'm traveling with my ROG Ally when I'm here, having a great time playing games. I feel like it's a remote Xbox for me, right? I log in, my community's there, my games are there. All devs should support cross saves, so that's to you, Remnant 2 team. I'm playing a ton of Remnant 2, but I can't move to PC. But I just love the fact that I'm able to take my save games where I go and play. So I love that hardware is becoming more diverse, both in price point and in form factor and usability, so that more people are playing.
Do you have any news about some sort of mid-generation refresh for Xbox?
No. We're doing right now the increased storage on the Series S. The black one, that's what we actually call it, is the black.
Looks awesome.
Yeah, it does. It looks great. But no, like I said, we're kind of at the end of the beginning in my mind. So I think we need to let devs settle on this hardware and get the most out of it. But in terms of increased frame rate, increased resolution. I just look at what goes on PC with high-end GPUs, high-end CPUs. And it's not always just about pixel count or frame resolution. I think there are lighting techniques. There's a bunch of things that go into what makes a game look and feel great. And we have a ton of headroom as an industry there.
The Baldur's Gate 3 team brought up some issues with Xbox Series S and split screen getting it to work properly. I know the Forza team announced that it won't launch with split screen, I believe.
Local split screen, yeah, split screen, yeah.
Local split screen. So
or even online split screen, yeah.
Is there some future where you allow developers just to launch on the Series X versus S? Because there's the parity clause right now, and I'm curious, will that ever be loosened up a bit?
I want to decouple these issues a little bit.
Yeah.
The decision to do split screen or not is a creative decision, a dev decision. So if we think about like Forza, it has nothing to do with any kind of hardware thing on S and X, just where they wanted to focus their time. We obviously see the data in terms of how many people play local co-op for games. I love local co-op. Shout out to Vampire Survivors that just launched it, fantastic. But there's also just let's go where the play is in terms of where we're going to focus our dev resources. In terms of the two platforms, I want games to launch on both platforms. There are feature differences between the platforms. We have an ability to kind of handle that and how it works. Where teams are going to choose to focus their time and their effort is up to them. We're here to support them and what they want to go do. We want to make sure that games, when they're launching on competitive platforms, are also launching on Xbox. So we're going to learn from this experience as well, because we don't love that. But I don't think it's something that's like a fatal flaw in the system. It's partners prioritizing their time, us listening and being a good partner to them. And you see some amazing games doing great work across S and X. Diablo looks great, Starfield looks great, Forza looks great across both. And you know, we think, I want to make sure console gaming is accessible to more people, and we think the price point of the console is a pretty important part of that.
Yeah, I love the Series S, but there's been that conversation going around, so I wanted to ask you about it.
Yeah, no, I think it's a fair question. I will say that I think some of the discussion in the community has maybe not come from us or the devs. It's been more the community building, well, this happened, and then that happened, and then so it must be about this. And I think we can do more to add clarity to actually where we are, and I look forward to doing that.
So you threw like 300 devs up to Larian to help them get Baldur's Gate on Xbox?
It wasn't 300, but absolutely.
400, wow.
No, it's a great game. They're an important partner. I'm meeting with them here at Gamescom. Like it's a game I want to see on the platform, and we have resources that help,
like I think
in
Baldur's
terms of
Gate,
making sure
Larian
it's going to
Dev
sit. I think they've said it's going to ship by the end of the year. I think that's their word.
S was what
in terms of what they've said.
Launch on Xbox.
But like we should together come up with clarity to set some expectations for Xbox fans, and I look forward to doing that.
Okay, I just really like that game, so I'm hoping I can play it on my console soon.
I do too. Yeah, hopefully with cross save, so I can play my PC and my Xbox version back and forth.
Yeah, got it. So, what else do we have? Game Pass does seem to be a bit of a tough sell for a lot of executives, I guess you call them. Kotick was one of those people that testified to it being a tough sell for him to bring Call of Duty to Game Pass. After closing, how are you going to breach that sort of ideological difference between you both?
Well, there's a different person making the decisions. That's one thing. On Game Pass, it's not necessarily true that every game looks at Game Pass and says that's the opportunity for me. Like if you're a massively successful AAA franchise that has double-digit million marketing budget to go drive awareness and discovery of your game day one, and that's part of your model, I totally understand why you wouldn't window your game day one into a subscription. I got no issue with that. Like we do it as a first party because we're trying to grow the subscription and we're looking at the overall health of the subscription as an outcome. We love that. We see it grow on console, more growth on PC definitely now, which has been awesome, especially sitting here in Germany. We think about all the PC players here. But so I just got out actually of a roundtable with a bunch of indie develop leads, studio heads, and the subscription helps them. It helps them in terms of dev funding, certainty in what they can go build. every game that's in Game Pass is available for sale, so we're not trying to turn the world into a subscription-only world, I promise. That's not our plan. And we think it's a great model for certain teams, and for other teams that decide it's not the right model for them ever or right now, that's also totally cool as well.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, I'm being told we're out of time.
Uh-oh.
I have a lot more great questions for you, but they'll have to wait. Thank you, Phil Spencer from Xbox, so much for joining us. We got to go. Coming up next, more video game news right here at Gamescom with IGN. Bye, everybody.
Hey, you!
My life.
How so? Like, what makes it so crazy?
To the point.
All right, we'll get back over to this.
Freeform gameplay. It's my attempt to capture what's special about stories like Cowboy Bebop and Firefly, where it's not about hauling tons of titanium across the galaxy, but it's about getting into trouble with a complex cast of characters, improvising, making do, and always running on the edge of disaster. We'll be revealing more soon, but before I go, I wanted to offer Game Pass players a world-exclusive first look at one of the locations from the game. Welcome to Hexport. This bustling way station is built on the back of 3 vast, abandoned solar reflectors. Taking advantage of the flow of power from these pre-collapsed corporate artifacts, the port is rich with industry and activity. The Benz is a spacer bar where you can find trouble and freelance crew in equal measure. The Exchange is the thrumming heart of the station, filled with data brokers and merchants, the perfect place to land a lucrative contract. Factory Row is filled with ship fitters and salvage yards, a tight-knit community you'll need to get on the right side of if you want repairs. Arriving in Hexport with a crippled ship, you'll need to learn to navigate the station, find allies, and go out on contracts if you hope to stay one step ahead of Lane. I can't wait to show you more, and I want to thank you all again for making this sequel possible by supporting and playing the first game. And if you haven't played Citizen Sleeper, well, now's the perfect time to play it on Game Pass with 3 DLC episodes just waiting for you. Turn your eyes starward, and I'll see you in the belt.
This is just the beginning, Sleeper.
Let's go look at it.
So, welcome to the Xbox booth tour at Gamescom. I'm going to do my best to try and show you as much of the 45,000 square feet of the booth, which is the largest we've ever had at Gamescom in history. There's 150 gaming stations, tons of games, and we're kicking off with the Cyberpunk 2077 queue, which is like over 2 hours long. We've also got Antstream here, which includes 1,300 games. It's the largest gaming drop in one go in Xbox history. You can also pick up a lifetime subscription for that for a short time. So go check that out. It's definitely worth it. But we're going to go try and take you through. There's so many people here. So
it's like a lifetime subscription.
I'm going to do my best to kind of make sure that we can show you as much of the booth. Now, as we're kind of heading around the Cyberpunk 2077 line, people have got their chairs out just to kind of help them out with the queue times. But
Cyberpunk.
One of my favorite areas, which here was a little Easter egg for the next part of the booth. We have, if you've been playing Diablo 4, an actual statue of Lilith. Now, this is a great photo opportunity which are dotted throughout the booth. As you notice, we're going through the outskirts of it right now because it's the fastest way to get around because there are thousands of people within the booth. But right here, we've got the statue of Lilith from Diablo 4. People are able to take their photo with it. It's got like blood pouring down from the skull above and then email it to themselves from there. Now, we're gonna keep on moving through. Every part of the booth, you've got gaming stations like here. We've got Armored Core, which people are able to hop on and play. The demo for that is actually really awesome. I had a lot of fun with that last night at FanFest. We head through the right-hand side. If you have a look at the main show floor, you can see the Xbox stage where we've been doing the whole broadcast from. So we've had Phil Spencer up there yesterday with Charlie, which is one of my favorite interviews of the show so far. And also, potentially one of my dream cars for Forza Motorsport, the Porsche Taycan. And one of the great things with this, there are actually loads of scratches. Like, you won't be able to see it without getting up close. But this was actually in a real race, like a couple weeks ago. So there's a few scratches from that. More photo opportunities for people to get involved in. So if you think, you got top of the podium, you can go there if you're the fastest racer, because we've got some demos of Forza Motorsport behind closed doors, which is really cool to see. And this next stop might be one of the more anticipated areas, like one of the most anticipated games. We've got Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, and people are able to get some like face paint to make themselves look like the characters within the game, which is pretty cool. I'll probably come and do that a little bit later. So if I pop up on the stream looking a little bit different, you know why. We've got Payday 3. Now, we've got this on the show later in the week as well. And as an FPS fan, really, really excited. It's always a good laugh to play with a few of your friends as well. We've got Charlie's best friend from Elder Scrolls Online. It's huge, absolutely huge, and it's one of the big things. It's not just the booth that's huge. The things within the booth are massive. We've got our History Untold on the right here. Now, if you've ever been to Gamescom in the past, you'll notice, like usually in this hall, the Xbox booth is just this side. We're walking straight through the middle, and it's like doubled from like a couple years ago. Now, if we continue fighting our way through the pack here, on the left-hand side, we've got Towerborn, which we'll get to in just a little minute. Now, as we're walking through, you'll be able to see the Starfield Theatre. It's been one of the most popular areas on the booth because it's the opportunity for you to go and see the start of Starfield, like around the first 20 minutes of the game. We had Todd Howard there yesterday, which was very, very cool. Now, on the right-hand side, we've got the opportunity to go and play Stalker 2, and there's like a whole load of more photo opportunities and things for you to check out along there. Party animals. Now, hopefully, oh my God, I think they're there.
Oh, the tickets aren't so expensive.
Maybe my favorite thing. Like, if I don't know why, but they are so adorable, and I think they are here.
Day ticket is
Or am I seeing things? No, I think I'm seeing things. No, they're not here. This is maybe one of the saddest things. So, throughout the week, we've been having life-sized party animals. I'm going to try and get them to throw it up on screen, but they're so adorably cute. Sadly, they're not here, but that's all good. Stalker 2 is here on our right-hand side. We've got the Starfield Theatre, and I just hope that you're starting to kind of get the idea of the scale of the booth here at Gamescom.
I want to see inside the Starfield Theatre while it's playing.
Age of Empires 4, you can play it right now if you want to on controller on your Xbox console. We've got an awesome console here as well.
Crazy Arrows. I don't think we're seeing anything on Starfield today on this.
So
it wasn't on the docket.
I'm
at the end of the stream, I'm going to switch over to the Bethesda stream.
I never trust myself when it comes to colors because I'm colorblind, but it's all good. Now, the next thing I want to show you is, of course, if we head to the side of the Xbox stage, we've got a very unique Starfield experience, which was designed for Gamescom with Temper. And if you look to the right, you can actually see a life-size cockpit, which has got unique footage, which has not been seen anywhere else, purposely built for that chair, which is insane.
Crazy Arrows, thanks for the follow.
If you're at Gamescom, but I kind of want the chair myself. It is very, very cool.
That looked freaking cool.
Now, also, you have to have the opportunity to win stuff on the booth, which is right here in front of the stage. You'll see people queuing up, hitting the button for their chance to win a whole ton of prizes from the booth on the left-hand side of the game titles. Like this guy right here just won a lanyard. All right, PC Game Pass lanyard. I've seen people winning Ultimate Xbox Game Pass, headsets, loads of cool prizes over there. Now, if we make our way to the right, we've got the queue over here for Flight Sim. They've got like yokes. They've got loads of different ways to play the game, which is a cool experience. So if you've not had the opportunity to play on like a flight stick, this might be your chance to do so. And the final stop that I want to show you all is, of course, Towerborn. Now,
of course,
the one thing that I'm very excited about with Towerborn is we've got a really cool demo coming to the show tomorrow. So I want to make sure that you hit that follow button so you don't miss that. And that's the end of the Xbox booth tour. So don't miss that show tomorrow. And I'm going to go play some more games. I'll see you later.
It's time to start chatting about the ultimate brawling combat in the intensely immersive world of Yakuza. It's a world in which Kazuma Kiryu was supposed to be rid of with Yakuza 6, but as we're about to see, drama finds even those who hide from it. Joining me to show off Like a Dragon Gate and the man who erased his name, please welcome Hideyuki Sakamoto, Sakamoto-san, and our interpreter Gavin Green. Thanks so much for joining us today. So we're going to jump right into the demo we have here on stage, and our first question I want to ask is for folks trying to pinpoint where we are in the franchise timetable and lore, what is it that we're looking at?
まあ最初からデモに入るんですが、最初この設定についてちょっといろいろ説明していただけますでしょうか。
はい、まあ、今回のセブンガイデンというタイトルはですね、龍が如く6の後に桐生一馬がどういったこう表舞台から姿を消してこう生きていたかっていったところが語られるような物語になっていまして、これが後の龍が如く7、あとは龍が如く8につながるまでのいきさつをこう作られたようなゲームになっています。
So, Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name, talks about the story of Kazuma Kiryu at the end of Yakuza 6. So he kind of disappeared from the scene, right? And this game is going to explore the story of what he was doing behind the scenes from the end of Yakuza 6 to the start of Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth.
Ah, amazing, wonderful, thank you. So we've also heard that this game is more compact than some of the other games in the series. So
Alright, I gotta mute for a bit. I got a work meeting to be in, but I'll leave this playing
let me know if
for you guys. I'll turn the volume on a little bit.
僕のゲームと違って、まあ、ちょっとこじんまりということを聞いたんですが、どんなことを期待できますか？結構オープンワールドもありますでしょうし、でしょうか。またミニゲームとか、カラオケもありますか？
まあ、今回のセブンガイデンは、まあ、メインの舞台は蒼天堀っていう、まあ、いわゆる大阪の舞台とまあ、こちらのデモでもお見せしているキャッスルという、まあ、いろんなこう特殊な舞台といったものが用意されているんですけれども、まあ、ストーリー、サブストーリー、プレイスポットといったような数に関しては、まあ、従来通りのナンバリングと、まあ、同様に楽しめる内容になっていると思います。
So this game contains like all of the things that you're familiar with from the series. It's got story, main story, it's got side stories, it's got mini games. So in a lot of ways, it's very similar to the kind of construction of the main games. And it takes place mostly in Soten Mori, but also is, as you see in this demo, it takes place in the castle as well.
Ooh, how interesting. Okay, so a question I'm going to ask on behalf of Kiryu, as I'm certain he's asking it multiple times, is why can't he just be left alone? Hasn't he been through enough?
これキリを代表にしてこれ聞くんですが、なぜキリはもう休ませてもらえませんか？
本当セブンでこう春日一番を助ける役目でこう一瞬出てきて、まあ、龍が如く8で、まあ、春日と桐生のダブル主人公っていったものを発表してきたんですけれども、やっぱりこう正しく桐生がなぜここに至るまでになったのかっていうところはゲームでやっぱりちゃんと伝えなきゃいけないかなと思って、まあ、そこを楽しんでいただけるとよりこう龍が如くのこれまでの物語が深く理解できるように なるかなと思います。
So Kiryu appeared in Yakuza Like a Dragon in 7, he appeared as a side character very briefly and kind of helped out in the story. And in the next game, in Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, he's kind of a co-protagonist with Kasuga Ichiban, right? So we figured we kind of had to say, like, what happened? How did he get here? Like, if we didn't do that, we felt like we'd be not really.
His adopted daughter, now that he's come out of hiding, are we going to see?
あったりはしますかね。
そこが今回のセブンガイデンの結構鍵となる設定で、まあ、そこはちょっと詳しくはお伝えできないんですけれども、鍵となる設定で、まあ、そこはちょっと詳しくはお伝えできないんですけれども、まあ、非常にこう感情を大きく揺さぶられるような物語になっているので、ぜひ期待してください。
So we can't talk in too much detail about this because unfortunately it's very key to the plot of the story. But what we can say is that it's going to be an emotional and interesting tale, and we think you all like it.
Oh, I'm certain we will. I also want to know if there are any familiar faces that we can expect to see. I am mostly just digging to see if we get to see Ichiban come back or my beloved Majima.
馴染みの顔とか会うことはあるんでしょうか？私の大好きな春日一番やマジマも来るんですかね？
メインストーリー自体が本当にこうセブンの裏側とかも語られているので、やっぱりこう春日一番とかも、まあ、こう劇中にはやっぱりこう関与するというか登場しますし、今までのレジェンドのキャラクターも、まあ、いろいろこうなんでしょう、こうサイドコンテンツとしても楽しめる部分もあるので、まあ、シリーズファンの方はすごく満足できるようなこう内容になっていると思います。
So the plot of this game takes place in the shadows of Yakuza Like a Dragon. So Kasuga Ichiban is very much related to the story. You kind of see hints of him throughout it. But outside of that, there's going to be also lots of legendary characters who you're familiar with the series. You're going to see people pop up in side stories and other things. So he thinks that anybody who's a fan of the series is going to be fully satiated by all the stuff that's going to pop up.
Amazing. And obviously combat is a phenomenally huge part of the game as well. So how does this game approach combat and what kind of high-tech gadgets can we expect to use?
この、シリーズの中にはやっぱり戦闘がメインのアクションになっていると思うんですが、このゲームにおいての、戦闘システムを教えていただけますか。またガジェットはどんなものが入っているんでしょうか。
はい、私たちスタジオもこうちょっと直前に RPG っていうタイプのゲームを作ってきたんで、こう久しぶりのアクションゲームということで、今我々ができる一番楽しめるアクションをまず作ろうというところから始まりました。
So until our previous game, we made an RPG, right? Which is kind of different from an action game. So we're kind of coming back to the whole action system, and we're kind of getting our feet wet. But we made sure that we made something that we think everybody will really enjoy.
今回このセブンガイデンは、エージェントスタイルと王竜という2つのバトルスタイルを使い分けて遊べるような内容になっています。
So in this game, the combat system focuses on two different styles. There is the Yakuza style and the agent style of battle.
エージェントスタイルはですね、桐生一馬が大道寺のエージェントという設定をもとに今までにはなかったなんでしょう、ガジェットを使ったトリッキーなバトル、スピーディーでトリッキーなバトルが簡単に楽しめるっていうところが目指していた部分だったりします。
So because Kasuga has sort of become an agent throughout the events of the story, this game is going to really explore that sort of new side of the battle. It's going to be very speedy, very tricky. It's going to be very different from everything you've seen up from the series to this point.
Oh, okay then. And is there anything else you can tell us about future Like a Dragon titles?
これから、Like a Dragon シリーズの、遊戯王シリーズの未来についていろいろお話聞けますかね。
今お伝えできるのは本当にすでに発表している龍が如く8自体がですね、来年に発売を予定してそれに向けて鋭意制作中なんですけれども、本当に今のところちょっとそこに全力を投入しているのでそこから先はまだノープランというか、まだ真剣にちょっと構想はあるんですけど、まだちょっとちゃんとした形にはまだなってないかなっていう状態です。
So right now, as a studio, we're focused entirely on the things that we've already announced, which is Like a Dragon Gaiden, Like a Dragon Gaiden, and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. So that comes out next year, and until that point, we have ideas what we want to do next, but we don't have any specific we don't have no plan, but we haven't set anything in stone. So we're focusing all of our efforts on what we've already announced.
Thanks so much, Sakamoto-san, for joining us, and you as well, Gavin. But pre-orders now are available and include the legendary fighting pack, if you want to go grab it yourself. And in case you missed it, Like Dragon Gaiden is set to launch on November 9th. Now, from one group of legends to another, FanFest was in full force here at Gamescom, and Xbox's own Aaron Greenberg was there for all the action and ultimate fan reactions. Check this one out.
We're at FanFest, and I'm with a fan favorite right here. So please welcome Xbox own Aaron Greenberg. Aaron, pleasure having you here.
Oh, thank you. Good to be here.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm surrounded by the most passionate fans, the most positive fans. We've got, 400 fans in the booth tonight. We've closed everything down just for our fans, the most important audience. I could not be happier to be surrounded by all this love.
That sounds so amazing. But Aaron, what is happening here? So what is FanFest?
This is FanFest. I mean, one of the things that we do, obviously we make games to do events, and we know that draws a lot of press coverage and other things, but the games we make are for the fans, so we make sure that we prioritize and do events for fans. And so whether it's our FanFest online or FanFest we did at Showcase, we come here to Gamescom, 300,000 fans from all over Europe are here, and we're hosting our fans here tonight with a special night. But I'm having lunch with fans. The fans we're getting beers with fans. Like, the community and people are connecting, and that's really what makes gaming so special, and getting everyone connected all in one place.
You are certainly a fixture of the Xbox community. So what have the reactions of the fans been so far?
They've been great. I mean, I think one of the things we really care about at Xbox is that we believe that gaming is for everyone, and we want all our fans to feel welcome, however they choose to love someone, however they identify. You know, we've got one of the things, we were the first booth ever to be fully accessible. And so I've got a number of fans here that actually are gamers that are in wheelchairs and they maybe play with the adaptive controller. This booth is fully accessible to them. We want everyone to feel welcome and feel the same love that we do for games. That's the common bond we have, and that's something that we prioritize, and I'm really proud of the team and the work they've done there.
But Aaron, how has Gamescom been treating you so far?
It's been great. I mean, we got to opening night live with Starfield and the live action. We had surprised people that Todd Howard was here. We surprised people, Phil Spencer's here. We've got a theater for 300 fans to see the first opening of the game. So that's really special. We've got a theater for Forza Motorsport. We've got hands-on for Towerborn. We've got Stalker 2. We've got Party Animals. We've just got a lot of great games. It's the biggest booth we've ever had. It's a really big year for us, and so it's great to be able to celebrate that with more fans from all over the world than anywhere else right now.
Can you tell us what about this community gets you excited?
I think that I get inspired by stories about people, you know? If I could actually maybe pull my friend Erwin. So this is Forza Erwin.
Nice to meet you.
So, gosh, we've known each other for how many years? But he came to FanFest in 2015. Your wife was pregnant.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. He was sending me the ultrasound photos. He had to run back. He came here for FanFest. He had to run back. He sent me the ultrasound photos. Yes. Now your son is how old?
7 years old.
7 years old.
I came to FanFest and I left at 1 o'clock or something like in the night, and I live in the Netherlands. So it's like 3.5, 4 hours drive, and then in the morning I had the first echo sound. And that's why we have a special bond also together, because Aaron invited me to come to FanFest. And since then it's been remarkable, amazing. Guys like Aaron and the rest of the team are so approachable and so much passion, you know, in the team as well. And that shows, you know, to the fans as well. We all share the same passion. Doesn't matter how you look like or where you're from or what language you speak. Everybody is here the same and really inclusive, and that's what I really like.
Yeah, and the neat thing about it is because we're in Germany, we have people coming from largely all over here. We have people from the UK, we have people from the Nordics, you know, from the Netherlands here with Erwin. And so that's the great thing. We got a lot of Spanish fans. We even have, you know, so that's really, really special. And one of the things that Erwin did, which I thought was really neat, was he actually started the Xbox Benelux social handle.
Yes, it was the official fan account of the Xbox. Because there wasn't any in the Netherlands, right? And I'm so passionate about Xbox for many years. And yeah, we did collaborate on giveaways just to do something back for the community also. And I felt the responsibility to do that in the Netherlands, right? So I started off the Benelux, and since now a year I gave the account to the Benelux team, and they picked it up really nice. So there's also investment being shown in that part. So
he created our first social account for Xbox Benelux, and now he's handed it off to the Xbox team to run it, because we're growing and investing and, you know, committing more resources because how important the fans in the community here. It's such a wonderful story. Now, you're wearing Forza, your name's Forza Erwin, you're one of the biggest Forza fans in the world. I think you were one of the first people to get to go see Forza Motorsport demo. What were your reactions? I mean, from a big fan, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm a lifelong fan since Forza 1 already. I collect all kind of stuff. And seeing it live this morning was super fabulous. I see that the improvement on the physics is really there. You see the weight transfer on the track. The graphics looks amazing in 4K 60. This was being shown on the Xbox Series X. So I'm super impressive. I can't wait till 5 October. Because then the pre-orders, let's say, go live when you have the premium edition. So I recommend everyone to get the premium edition as well. So if you're a racing fan and sim racing, please go check it out. It's amazing. I cannot be enthusiastic enough about it.
I was about to say, talk about enthusiastic fans. That's so amazing. Thank you so much, Erwin.
Thank you, Erwin. This is just one of many, many stories. We're so lucky to have great fans, the best fans in the world. That is what gives so much purpose to the work we do and why we love what we do. The joy and the power of gaming can have on the world is like nothing else.
That sounds amazing. So what are your plans for tonight?
Tonight I'm going to go meet 400 of my closest friends, and we're going to take photos, we're going to share memories. It's, you know, this is like a family reunion. And but it's our Xbox family, and it's really, really nice to be here.
That sounds very, very amazing. Aaron, thank you so much. And also, Erwin, thank you so much for being here. Guys, if you'd like to join the party, so check out the FanFest URL down below and register yourself to be part of FanFest, obviously, and to become a part of the community. So check out the link, sign up, and be here next year. If not, you miss out. right?
That's right.
Choose.
It's the fast-paced action moment that we needed in our day here at Gamescom, and we can jump now into the armored world of Rubicon with Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon. From Bandai Namco Europe, please welcome Bertrand Manjon. Hi, Bertrand.
Hello, hi.
How are you today?
I'm fine. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited you're here as well. I'm so excited to play some Armored Core 6 with you as well. So, right off the bat, can you tell us where we are and what we can do here?
So we are in Armored Core 6, obviously, and we're currently in a mission which is called Infiltrate Grid 086. So that's the first mission of the Chapter 2.
Okay.
So generally when players reach this mission, they should be able to play and know have a better understanding of the game mechanics. So we'll just progress through the mission and see how we tackle the situation.
Sure, let's take a look at them.
So there, currently enemies are just attacking me, so I will reply back. That's
Deal
the
with
whole
them.
point in Armored Core. So you have to be quick. That's intense action all over the place.
And react to what's coming at you straight away. Very cool. There's some destruction in the environment going on too. That's great to see. And you're using your missiles there too?
So yeah, that's the basic loadout for my AC, for my Armored Core.
Okay.
I have rockets, machine gun, and then I also have a shield to protect from the enemy's hits.
Nice.
And also plasma blade, so for more melee attack when I want to dive into the action a little bit more.
I like the plasma blade, that looks like a lot of fun. You're really fast.
Yes, so that's the assault boost. Assault boost is something that you can use to reduce the gap between the enemies, to be some kind of more aggressive way to go at the enemy. But it's also used to be as an evasive action if you want to evade some difficult situation.
Very cool. Now, Bertrand, I'm super excited to talk to you today because I hear you've got quite a lot of experience in some other titles that you and the team were able to bring to Armored Core 6. Can you share with chat at home some of those as well?
Yeah, of course. So yeah, basically this is a From Software game. So we all know the expertise they have shown during the past decades. And Armored Core is a compilation of what they know and what they have explored with all their games. So you can have elements from Dark Souls, you can have elements from Bloodborne and Sekiro. So players will, I think, will be happy to see that these kind of elements are now back in Armored Core, even though the construction of the game is different because it's a mission-based game. So, but yeah. And so I'm just facing a tough enemy right now, so maybe I won't be speaking for 30 seconds.
That's fine, I'll chat to chat as well. It's so nice to see some of you in Twitch chat as well. I'm, as Bertrand mentioned, some of the Souls games that the team's worked on. I'm a massive From Software fan. Maybe you guys in chat are as well, but I love Dark Souls 1. I'm playing through Dark Souls 2 at the moment as well. But Elden Ring most recently was so much fun as well. So hello everyone in chat.
So as
you did
see,
it? Nice.
Yeah. I don't know if you noticed, but every enemy, every boss is in the game has an ACS gauge.
Yeah.
So this gauge is something that is really important. It's a key feature in the game because you have to raise and fill this gauge so that the enemy is staggered. So I'm trying to do it with this AC right now. And once an enemy is staggered, so once you have filled the gauge in red, you will notice that it won't be moving for a short while. So you have to get advantage within this time frame to deal massive damage to the enemies.
Nice. So that's that gauge at the top we can see above the enemy's name. That's so cool.
But on the contrary, you also have an SCS gauge yourself, so that means that you can be staggered as well and take massive amount of damage.
Yeah. So it's almost quite similar to Sekiro as well.
Yeah, it's a reminiscence of the posture system in Sekiro. So Yeah, it's not exactly the same system, but it's something that is the legacy of it.
Yeah.
And as I said, that's something that From Software has explored in other games, and you can find it in Armored Core.
Nice. FromSoft knows how to make some good games, so
yes.
Learn from the best. This is very intense combat we're seeing right now.
It is, actually.
Yeah. So we're kind of like on this one level at the moment. You're still using those boosters to dodge, like you mentioned earlier, and we kind of climbed up. Oh, well done!
Okay.
Nailed it!
I did it.
Well done. And breathe. Good. Yeah, I wanted to mention that we climbed up to this platform almost through our boosters, but you were using that to jump about as well.
Yeah. Yes.
Let's talk about the verticality in Armored Core 6 as well.
Yeah, so that's one of the main elements in the Armored Core. So yeah, we were talking about the previous From Software games like Elden Ring or Dark Souls and Bloodborne or Sekiro. So generally players are used to stay on the ground for this game, and in Armored Core you have to get vertical, I would say. So get up in the air, swipe and boost forward, backward, and so the 3 dimension is something that you have to take into account when you are facing enemies.
I'm really excited to try it out because, yeah, like you say, I'm very much used to having my feet stuck on the ground when I'm trying to platform sections of Souls games, so this looks like a lot of fun flying about too. As we move to this level here as well, are we going to see some different environments? This one looks quite like wiry and technological and stuff. So
that's right. Yeah, this is depending on the mission. So you have missions that are based in this kind of post-industrial. I'm almost dying. Sorry about that. So post-industrial environments, but even within a mission, you can have some different environments. So later on the mission, we will see some more narrowed or restricted environments, and even missions can take place in a more natural background, such as a desert, not that much, and
that would be a good level as well.
Or snowy environments, or rocky environments. So I'm trying to open a door, but there's an enemy coming behind, so that's usual From Software trickery, I would say.
Yeah, I've been caught out quite a few times around some tight corners, you say.
Yeah.
Enemies lurking in the shadows. I'm excited to explore some of the world of Rubicon then, and like you say, check out those different biomes and environments throughout Armored Core as well. And the level that we're playing through right now, we mentioned that this is kind of like a contract that you're running over Rubicon.
Yes.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about, I guess, what our key objective is?
So there are many factions that are fighting for the core substance on Rubicon 3, and we are playing the role of a mercenary, which is taking contract from different factions. So in this mission, we are being tested by a faction called the Dozers, which are some kind of junkies, junkie addicted to the core substance. But on other missions, we have different commands or commanders. So I'm more in a narrowed or restricted environment now. So that's, you can feel the tension, and you can bet that there's some tricks and yeah. So here is the best location to use the scanning system. So to see what kind of enemies are waiting for me at the corner. So there's one here. I will try to take him from a from a range distance. And there's another one here. Okay.
Very good, Bertrand. I see a lot of people in chat saying that the game looks amazing. Site officials said it there. Lots of you as well. That's so cool. It does. It looks so stunning as well. Just even these corridors.
Intense action all the way from A to Z. So yeah, exactly.
That plasma cutter looks so much fun. I guess as well, you'll need to change up your different weapons depending on the environment you're in as well.
Yes, there are many weapons that you can allocate to your AC, depending on your playstyle and depending on the situation that you are facing as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's up to you to observe, try to different strategy. If you are facing a difficulty, a peak of this difficulty, that can happen. We are in From Software game, so yeah.
Lots of tries and lots of ways to get it done. No, I'm excited to explore more of the weapons that we can collect or unlock.
I'm sure I will show you the garage feature. So this is where you can change the loadout of your AC to something different, something that is more efficient, for instance, against an enemy or against the boss.
That sounds great.
So we are reaching the final areas of the mission now. So let's see what's
awaiting
next.
us.
Yeah.
This looks like it's building to some form of conclusion if I know my games. Oh.
Yes, there are some platforms that can allow you to reach higher levels. So that's fine. That's cool. Okay, so what's there? Oh, there's a bunch of enemies there, so I can try to launch my rocket and see if I can have the multi-aim. Oh, I can't. I don't have any more rockets.
Oh no!
Yeah, so I will have to
do it the hard way.
Yeah.
Oh!
Oh, what?
Oh my gosh!
Okay, one more trick from Software, I guess.
Environmental damage.
Yeah.
Of course.
Say a bomb falling from the ceiling.
Yeah.
Oh. Of course.
Why not?
So this enemy is a tough enemy because he's hiding behind a giant shield, as you can see. So, and I'm wrecked.
Oh no, Bertrand! Oh, I'm lucky. Mission failed.
Yeah.
You died.
But I can quickly show the garage.
Let's do that.
Yeah,
Love
the
to see
assembly
it.
system.
So customization for your armor is going to be a big
this is where
point.
it takes place. So that's one of the main screen of the where the players will have to explore some new tracks and strategies to tackle the situation. So you have three main categories here. So the first one, the unit, will affect the attack power of your AC. The frame parts will affect the strength of your AC.
Okay.
The inner parts will be affecting the mobility and agility of your AC. And there you have the expansion slot. So this is where you will allocate some active or passive skills.
Okay.
Yeah. So I will change some of my weapons there because I will probably go for the machine gun on this one.
Sweet.
So there are a bunch of weapons that can be allocated
so
to each of these slots.
Yeah.
And so these weapons and the AC parts will be unlocked and through the story because you will be earning credits that will be allowing you to purchase the parts and the weapons. So I'll go for the machine gun. I won't be using the pulse blade. I think I'll go for the plasma rifle.
Plasma rifle looks good.
Yeah.
I like the look of that. Nice. And we can see like a little hint or a demonstration of what it does.
Exactly.
Before we choose it.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I will keep the missile launcher. But I will get rid of the shield because I'm not a shield player, even in the Souls game. So yeah.
Me neither. Oh.
So let's go for another set of missiles.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so bad with the shield. I much
Not
prefer
bad.
to have magic one hand and then a sword. I always forget about my shield.
Oh, these missiles
That
should
looks
do
good.
should do the job.
That looks heavy. That's
Yeah.
cool.
So let's go restart from checkpoint and tackle the same situation again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Can you change the color of the armor as well?
Yes, that's also another feature in the garage. So you can practically change everything from the weapon color, the aspect of it. So if you want to have a rusty AC, it's possible, and it's also possible to change the level of the rustiness that you want to your AC to be.
Sick. Stylize it.
Yeah.
Now, Bertrand, while you're just getting up to that enemy as well, fans might notice if you're watching at home that we have something really cool sitting on this table.
Yeah,
we have the Premium Collector's Edition, which I hear has quite a lot of cool features that I'll read out real quick while you're dispatching these enemies and dodging those bombs from the ceiling again.
Yes.
Nice, there you go. So the Armor Core Collector's Edition includes the game as well as a figurine of the Armor Core, which we can see looks sick right here sitting on the table. It's got your steelbook, pin badges, an exclusive garage as well, a digital soundtrack, hardcover art book, stickers and posters, which all look so sick. How you doing, Bertrand?
I'm doing.
How you feeling? You feeling more confident with that?
Yes, the loadout is much more efficient now.
Oh my gosh!
Yes.
Very efficient. Smashed it. I was expecting that to take a little bit longer, but that was sick. Well done.
Yeah, this giant door should open now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They've surrendered. You dispatched all of their gang. Well done.
So as you can see, there's a marker on the left, and that's the possibility to call for supply Sherpa, which will allow you to regain all your ammunitions. So whenever you have this supply Sherpa in the game, that means that right after is something that could be possibly a boss fight.
Okay. All of these environments look so sick.
Yeah. All right, so
dear.
this is the boss time.
Okay, so we've got the Smart Cleaner.
The Smart Cleaner, yeah.
I mean, I thought the enemy we just fought was the boss, but
so you can notice that I can focus on 2 weak points, one on the at the bottom of it and one on the top of it. So this is where I should focus and shoot, and try to raise the stagger gauge, the SES. And try to also keep a distance, because with these giant swaps from these arms, you can deal a massive amount of damage.
Nice. Yeah, I always love that in FromSoft games, like especially with bosses. It reminds me of this one, where you have different elements that you can target, and that'll maybe change the way they react to you or how the fight is as well. It's always fun to find those weak points.
So I'm evading with the assault boost, just to keep a distance.
And can you change the boost? Is that something that can we change the mobility of your armor core as well?
So yeah, if you select some more booster with more power, you can boost more quicker.
Nice. Gamer Panda says this looks so cool and so smooth as well.
Well, boss fights are the the DNA of From Software. So in this game, it's obviously the case as well. So
yeah, that's sick. Char loving it, Bertrand as well. Elle says, when I play this, it feels like I'm 15 years old again. Awesome playground. That's so sweet.
Thank you.
Glad you guys in chat are enjoying it. You're doing well, Bertrand. You've got over
I'm trying to get the stagger on this boss.
Yeah, you got this.
Here it is.
Nice.
So now I can through everything I have to lower the AP gauge, which is the elf gauge.
Oh, he's over. He's rinsed. That was great damage. Smashed it.
Ow!
Ooh, he's got the fight too. Okay. Ooh.
Oh my God.
You're okay.
I'm trying.
Oh, well done. So you can repair throughout the fight as well, I noticed. That's cool. Oh no!
I'm stuck.
You're okay, I believe.
Yeah, I'm okay with 61 points remaining. Let's try.
I'm sure you've done it on left. Let's go.
I won't. I will keep the distance from now on because.
That sounds like a good tactic. Oh no!
Oh, you wrecked me.
Bertrand!
Yeah, that's Armor Core.
That's Armor Core. Mate, I cannot wait to get stuck in as well. I'm so excited. So, Twitch chat, we've got one more really cool giveaway for you. We have a chance to win something else that's super epic, as well as this fantastic statue, a custom Xbox Series X Armor Core 6 console and controller. We're giving away a custom console and controller on Twitch right now if you type !Rubicon in Twitch chat to enter the giveaway. That's !Rubicon, all lowercase. Bertrand, that was so much fun. I'm really excited to play it. As a Souls fan who's not played the Armor Core series, that looks like a bit of me as well. So when can we play it?
Tomorrow. Tomorrow is launch day. Yeah, so tomorrow you can play. Yeah.
Let's do it. I can't wait. Well, Bertrand, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for the invitation. That was cool. Really cool.
Thank you. Coming up, we've got the team from Elder Scrolls Online giving us a glimpse into how they bring the realm of Apocrypha to life with the community in mind. Then we'll dive into new gameplay from Ara History Untold. But first, it's the latest from a Dragon Quest spin-off known by manga fans everywhere. This is Infinity Strash Dragon Quest: The Adventures of Dai.
Following this, that would be
The legendary Dragon Quest manga and anime is coming to Xbox Series S and X and Windows as a new, exhilarating action RPG in Infinity Strash. Dragon Quest: The Adventure of Dai. Take charge of Dai and the disciples of Avar, Pop, Nam, and Hyunko in their battle against the Dark Lord Hadlar and his monstrous army. Hadlar's ghastly army will take all your cunning and skill to overcome. The Dark Army consists of 6 legions full of gruesome beasts, led by their powerful commanders that will not be easily defeated. React in the moment with real-time combat where you can switch between characters as the battle intensifies. Each character has their own set of unique skills to help collectively defeat your enemies. Knives and swords, devastating magic, the power to heal, and dark aura skills. Everything you need to crush your adversary. The game delivers the full Sovereign Rock Castle arc narrative from the anime.
What?
Covering up to episode 41, where you'll experience all the excitement of the story recreated with dynamic and explosive playable battles. Collect and equip accessories known as bond memories to boost your chances of defeating the Dark Army. These are awesome because not only do they level up the stats of the character they are equipped to, they also unlock scenes from the original manga.
Need to buy promotion for them.
If you are having a hard time progressing through the story or just want to become even stronger, you can take on the Temple of Recollection. Here, you can earn rewards to level up the spells and skills of your party members, as well as strengthen bond memories. The temple is a repeatable dungeon that changes every time you play through it. The further you progress, the harder it gets. You'll have to decide whether to exit the temple with your earnings and your life, or risk it all for the promise of something even greater. You will need all the power and strength to delve deeper into the tougher end of the story.
Dragon
so
Ball,
use your earnings from the
Crawler.
Temple of Recollection to level up and customize your team. Once you've completed the story, Challenge Mode is unlocked. Here, you will find unique, supercharged quests that offer even greater challenges not seen in the main game. You can collect all of Dai's memories in the game's scrapbook, unlocking different pieces while playing through the story. And to complete the book, you will also need to clear the full Temple of Recollection. Whether you love action RPGs, Dragon Quest, anime, or all of the above, the adventure starts here in your quest to become a true hero in Infinity Strash. Dragon Quest, the adventure of Dai.
With more than 22 million players across the globe, our next game can truly be called a phenomenon. Joining me to give a glimpse into the Elder Scrolls Online Gamescom experience, please welcome Matt Firor. How are you doing, my dear?
Thank you, I'm doing great.
Yeah, good. It's been a busy couple of days for you, but we're going to have a fantastic chat about what is quite honestly one of my favorite games ever. So, folks who have played the newest ESO expansion, Necron, will no doubt recognize from all the footage we've shown of Gamescom so far in the booth, our wonderful Daedric Prince over there, looming over everybody. And I'd love for you to tell everyone at home exactly what fans have been up to on the booth, aside from snuggling up with Hermaeus Mora.
Yeah, and as you can see, Hermaeus Mora is the Daedric Prince of knowledge, and he's super creepy. And it's awesome. And
that's what makes him awesome.
That's what makes him awesome. Yeah. Among many things. But and actually, if you take your selfie, if you take a selfie with him and post it on social media, you get a free copy of the game here.
It's not a bad thing to do, is it?
Yep.
Yeah. And you've got a massive area over there. Me and Phil were talking. We want to go in and steal a table, but there is more than just a cool table in the booth.
Yeah. So we had a little community meet and greet earlier, and there's literally a round table there. So we had a round table with the fans. It was great.
I love it.
And you can, of course, get hands-on with the game. And then there's, of course, the giant statue of Hermaeus Mora. So
right at the
it's a great time.
Yeah. I think it's a great opportunity as well for folks who, for some reason or other, haven't played it yet, to just come in and check it out. And you really get the whole vibe of the game in there. So brilliant setup, absolutely love it. But back to the game itself, it's now been 2 months, bizarrely somehow, since Necron came out. And I'd love to hear from yourself what the reaction has been like so far.
It's been fantastic.
Good.
This is it's the highest rated chapter ESO has had, and we've had, I think, 6 or 7 now. So it has been received super well by the fans. We added a new class called the Arcanist, which players just absolutely adore.
We called it the Book Wizard on our streams.
It is, in fact, a book wizard.
Yeah, exactly.
Based on knowledge. He has really cool graphical effects, and it's just a whole lot of fun to play.
Yeah.
So, and of course, it's back in Morrowind. It's a part of Morrowind that players haven't been to before in an Elder Scrolls game.
Yeah.
And then you get to go to Hermaeus Mora's Plane of Apocrypha, which is basically a giant dungeon built out of books.
Yeah,
so it's great.
absolutely.
And the story, Elder Scrolls in any Elder Scrolls game, from Arena to Skyrim to Elder Scrolls Online.
You know what you're doing, don't you, when it comes to story?
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
And no spoilers, but the story in this one is amazing.
Yeah, please go finish it. My favorite thing about when it opened up, an insight into my gameplay style, is I'm very much the completionist. So whenever I get a new part of the map, I get to go in and tick off all the little bits. And so, absolutely adore it. One of my favorite new places to stay in. But onto the community itself and being here at Gamescom, and all the online community at home as well, hugely passionate around the globe. Cheeky question, how is it even remotely possible to keep your finger on the pulse of so many people playing this game?
I mean, many answers to that, but one of them is that's why we come to shows like Gamescom, right? It's like, as an American developer, right, Europe is hugely important to Elder Scrolls Online, and Germany is the second largest community. The German-speaking community here is the second largest community in the game. So we take our definitely time out of our schedules to go to community events in the United States and also to come here.
Touch base, thank them.
Thank them. I've just met with fans right before I came on stage here, and it's like us as developers, you know, that sit in our dark offices, you know, for most of the year.
Plotting away.
You know, to come here and just see people and talk to them about what the game means to them is the reason why we do this, right? Because ESO would not exist without the players.
We were speaking about this before. Games don't make it to 10 years with the numbers that you've got without an incredibly passionate and excitable fan base.
And it's true. And games of this type, like the communities that are welcoming are the games that last for a long time. And we have a fantastic community. New players are always welcome, and it's like home.
And it leads me on superbly to my next point, which I was going to say myself. There's something about the ESO community that is, the word you use, so welcoming.
Yeah.
And I hear that you have some favorite stories of the fans, or that the fans have shared with you that you want to share, and I am all ears.
Indeed I do. So actually last month, we had the ESO Tavern here in Germany, and we do that as a community event we have every year.
For anyone in chat who might not know what that is, can you break it down a little bit for me? What is the Tavern?
So the Tavern is where European community can come to Germany once a year and go and meet ESO developers, meet each other. You know, there's usually music and, of course, food and drink and fun and a little cosplaying.
I mean, you say that just as people walk on. Oh my goodness to me, that looks like was that sleeping bags?
No, I think more cushions.
Oh, I was going to say.
Yeah. But, you know, usually it's a whole day, and it's a whole day stuff, and it's really just people can meet other people that where ESO means so much to everyone. So, and in fact, in that tavern this year, we had a special promotion where if you told your story about your favorite ESO story, we picked 3 winners of that to get a pass to the tavern. And I have the stories with me right now.
Here are some stories I wrote down earlier.
On parchment.
Go on, let's hear a couple of them. I can't wait.
All right, and to be clear, these are stories that our own fans wrote.
These are the ones that got them in the door.
Yes, that got them in the door, but these are real words from users telling us what ESO means to them, right? And they're all a little different, but it shows the breadth of it. So the first one is from Geraldine and Tobias, and of course they probably wrote it in German. In order to preserve international peace and tranquility, I'm going to read it in English. So Geraldine and Tobias, ESO is something very special for both me and my partner, as it was our first game together at the start of our relationship, and we are still playing today. We've been together for over 5 years, and we love experiencing new things together in ESO. It's helped our relationship grow, for which we're grateful.
Oh, that's really lovely.
We have so many people have met in the game, and have gotten married, and I mean, and it's amazing. And we see them at the fan events. So very good.
Incredible.
So here's Silas and Jonathan. I've been playing ESO since the beta, which was in 2013, just to put it in perspective.
Wow.
I've been playing ESO since the beta. I vividly remember the launch. It seemed like yesterday, and it was so much fun starting a new adventure. Now, 9 years later, I know Tamriel like the back of my hand. I've saved Nirn many times. I've done and seen it all, and I still can't get enough. I introduced my son to the game in 2017, and he's as big a fan as I am. Now we go on adventures together.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. We heard a lot of feedback during the pandemic where sometimes families, if kids were at college or elsewhere, they could actually meet in-game and game together.
Yeah.
And it's a virtual world like that.
100% it is, yeah.
And the player named Jarzul wrote, I returned to online RPGs, which I had previously played from 1999 until about 2015, sometime shortly after the start of the pandemic in 2020. I was fascinated by ESO, of course, due to the fact it's an Elder Scrolls universe, but also the regular updates and endless content that this game offers. What also caught my eye over time, through visiting many streams on Twitch and regularly following social media, is the incredible, one-of-a-kind relationship between the community and you, the developers. Thank you. Seriously, thank you. This relationship is special and welcomes new players from the very start. And I think that those 2 sentences pretty much sums up what we feel about the community as well.
Oh, absolutely love it.
Yep.
In fact, I'm going to test a story on you now, if that's all right. My own experience, I want to see if this will get me in the door of the tavern, right? On the Xbox On streams, we play ESO. Got to a point like weekly, we were taking over the schedule to play it, and we were having community nights in the evening where we would pick a region on the map, we'd post a picture in Discord, and what we'd do is there would be about somewhere between 16 to 20 of us would all come online, and we'd go and we would just smash all of the bosses out, and we'd clear everything, because it can be quite difficult for some people solo, and in doing that, loads and loads of people downloaded the game for the first time to play it with us, and we decided to join a guild and create a guild for everyone to be in, and we called it the Postcode Schlottery. And I would love to know if we would be allowed in the tavern one time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's go. We're going to go, everybody.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So we mentioned the new people who play both for us and in the stories you shared there, and new memories are also being made every single day. So really the question is, what is the secret behind making a 10-year-old game so enticing to new players?
I could do a whole GDC talk on
Let's
that.
do it.
No, but obviously the game has evolved over time,
Yes,
and
of
because
course,
players' preferences evolve over time, as developers we get better and can tell better stories. So the story of ESO is the story of evolution, right?
Yep.
It's making the game better over time. And an example of this is right now we're doing a bunch of new features that just launched on PC and on console next week to make new users more welcome in the game, not from the community, but from the game. Because the game is so big now, we want to make sure that it's not overwhelming when new users come in.
course,
So just an example of, we're constantly changing, constantly evolving.
Yeah, I love it. So even though you are 10 years in, you're thinking about that onboarding new player experience.
Oh yeah,
what that looks like.
we have had so many new players this year. So ESO is still very, very, very successful.
We're not done yet.
And we're not done yet.
In fact, next question, what is next for ESO?
Well,
Where
we're
are we
at the 9.5-year mark, for
Goodness.
ESO's launch on PC, right? Which means next year is a big year. It's our 10th anniversary. We're probably going to do a bunch of interesting things, which we'll talk about later in the year. But also, we have another update coming the end of the year, which has a feature which we've been very secretive about called...
Can we unlock the secret today, or am I going to have to wait?
Well, a little more of the secret, but it's called the Endless Archive.
Okay.
And we're going to have a preview stream on September 14th. For the Endless Archive. It'll be on the Bethesda Twitch channel. So we'll, of course, announce this before, so you don't have to quickly write everything down right now. But we'll go into detail on that whole update, including what the Endless Archive actually is. And of course, besides that, ESO will always get new content added. We'll always do quality of life fixes. We're already working on next year's chapter. So the train keeps rolling. I mean, it's a great game, and as long as people, like the great communities here, keep playing it, it's going to keep going.
I'm certain it will, and I'll be right there with them. Matt, thank you so much for joining me. Do let me know if you ever need a warden in any of your daily dungeon runs, and I'll be right there to help you out.
Keep it in mind.
Yeah, thank you very much. Right, we'll be back with a first look at extended gameplay for the PC Grand Strategy title, Ara History Untold, coming to PC Game Pass Day 1 in 2024. And speaking of Game Pass, we're giving away 3 months of PC Game Pass very, very soon. So keep an eye on Twitch chat. But first, let's fly into the future of Pigeon Simulator, Matt. Enjoy this.
Lot of poop. It's like the goose game.
Let's go back to the beginning. There. The world untouched. No thrones ascended. No history yet written. Just people waiting to be led somewhere extraordinary by you. Will you be wise? Will you inspire? Or will you conquer? However you choose to change the world, one thing is certain: history will never be the same.
It's the grand strategy game that puts you at the center of history. We've got your first extended look at ARA History Untold, and here to introduce us to the game and play tour guide through the ARA experience here at Gamescom, please welcome Livy and Matt. Guys, thank you so much for having me here.
Of course, yeah. On behalf of the entire team at Xbox Publishing and Oxide Games, we're so excited to have you here, and we're so excited to be showing off gameplay at Gamescom.
Yeah, it's a really incredible opportunity to be here in Cologne and get the chance to show the world the game.
And the booth looks so much fun, but I would say I can't wait to play the game, to have a look into the game. So let's go inside, all right?
Sounds great. Let's go.
Let's go. And just like that, we're here in the theater. And Matt, tell us about one of the ways that ARA differs from other grand strategy games fans may have played.
Sure, happy to. I'm really excited to get a chance to share ARA with the world today and show our gameplay preview here from Gamescom. One of the things I love about this game is how 4X gamers, turn-based strategy gamers, historical gamers are going to find a ton that feels really familiar. Feels like coming home. You know, feels like this is it. I know exactly what's going on. This is kind of my vibe. But ARA History Untold also features a number of unique gameplay features, like the living world is my personal favorite. The way that the game presents a more organic, seamless, natural environment where you can sort of discover the things that you do and have an impact on the map as you play.
So excited to see more, so let's jump in, I would say, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's dive in. So, for ARA History Untold, one of the very first decisions that you make is to choose one of the historical leaders to play in the game. So that's going to be who leads your nation from the beginning of your nation's civilization, from their society, all the way up to the modern era and a little bit beyond. For Gamescom, we're just going to be showing off 9 leaders, but I'm going to go ahead and pick one of my favorites. Do you have a favorite historical leader from the game, Melly or Livy?
Yeah, so I'm wearing this headdress of golden laurels in honor of Sappho, who is a leader in the game. So Sappho, one of the great things about ARA History Untold is that it features leaders not just of militaries, of government, but also it features leaders of arts and culture and invites players to play and explore a world as them. So Sappho, who was someone who was not necessarily a leader in government, but has left a significant impact on arts and culture. She's a leader in ARA, and she's definitely one of my favorite leaders to play as. I am someone who also loves to play, as Matt mentioned, tall instead of wide. I like playing with arts and culture and beauty aesthetics in mind, as opposed to, I'm not so much of a combat.
I totally understand, because that's probably a route I would take as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, what about you? Who's your favorite historical leader?
Well, so for today, for Gamescom, I'm going to pick one of my favorites. I'm going to pick Harun al-Rashid.
Okay. So, and how does the leader choice affect, like, the gameplay and everything?
Absolutely, yeah. So the leaders in ARA History Untold have a ton of effect on gameplay. They have 2 major sets of traits. They have personality traits. The personality traits of each leader affect things from the gameplay, from the partnerships with other nations. It's how AI plays them as well. And then they have a unique leader trait. Harun al-Rashid was famous for leading the Abbasid Caliphate in the 5th century, and one of the things about him is he led a golden age for his people. And so the traits in the game reflect his historical reality and the things that he accomplished with the creation of the House of Wisdom. And so you can see some of the powers that these provide, extra trade routes, increased immigration to the capital. Harun al-Rashid is your classic tall strategy leader, where you play as a leader that builds up a small number of cities and builds them very, very big, very, very powerful, very large, as opposed to spreading out all over the map. And he's a little bit more focused on culture, sciences, arts, and winning that way, as opposed to bloodshed and warfare. Another one of the ways that Ara History Untold differentiates itself is we really wanted to lean into the idea that you rule how you want to rule. You lead how you want to lead, that you become the leader you want to become. And the way we do that is through a system we call prestige. Within Ara History Untold, prestige is the way you actually win the game. It's your score. It's how you build points up over time. And there are dozens of ways to earn prestige in the game, but really they're reflective of how you want to play, how you want to lead your nation. So with Harun al-Rashid, I'm probably going to be leaning into some masterpieces, cultural works, great triumphs, which are what we call the most amazing buildings from throughout history, and see if I can build up that way. So
that sounds so exciting.
Moving in here, the very first thing you'll probably notice is that living world, right? Our History Untold is built up in a way where you can zoom all the way down to level, see your citizens living their lives. So this is an early settlement, it's 6000 BCE, and I have my little people wandering around, part of my nation here. They're living their daily lives, they're farming the land. I have a workshop over here, which is going to be important for the crafting system, which we'll get into in a little bit. But you can see right away there's kind of a different shape to the world. It's more organic. It's not hexes, it's not tiles, it's not a grid. We have natural borders, the places that you would expect to see those borders in real life, like along rivers and mountain ranges. And you can see other things like these, dangerous wildlife, and you can actually go and find these rhinoceroses terrorizing these cows, so I won't be able to harvest those cows or utilize them until I clear those rhinoceroses from the territory.
The dangerous wildlife used to actually be mobile. It used to roam around the map and just attack you kind of without warning sometimes. And so needless to say, players found that a little bit off-putting. So we would get full posts in our forums just going like, nope, I don't like the dangerous wildlife. This is too much. And so the team at Oxide took that feedback, scaled it way back, and then implemented it more like this. So it's something that you can strategically move towards and then hunt for resources, that sort of thing. So yeah, for instance, if you know that the hyenas are causing a problem for your civilization, you can be prepared, one, and then you can take steps to have a hyena-free society.
Which is a goal, I guess, in the Savannah.
It would be a great goal to have in the Savannah.
So one of the first things you'll do in the game is you'll have your scout unit. Your scout is an early explorer unit that you use to discover things on the map, to expand your point of view and your perspective in the world, and also to uncover ancient relics from previous civilizations that came before you, previous nations and societies of people, and to be able to take those goods and bring them into your own national inventory. So I'm going to go ahead and take my scout. I'm going to move them there. Now, you may notice that my scout has moved to the edge of this region, but they haven't actually moved into this zone. And that's because Ara History Untold features true simultaneous turns. What true simultaneous turns are is all of your actions and choices, the decisions that you make in Ara are queued up in a queue that goes into a turn processor at the end of the turn. So once you've ended your turn, that's when everything activates. All the decisions that you made in a turn go off at the same time, as well as all the decisions of every other nation in the game. And where there are conflicts, there are rules in the game and a depth to the rules that allows those conflicts to play out. So if you've ever played a board game called Diplomacy, it's a little bit like that.
Okay. It's a little more lifelike, wouldn't you say?
I would say, yeah. I would say it's a little bit more realistic, a little bit more authentic to how real things go. In real life, it isn't always, I take a turn, you take a turn, then you take a turn, then I take a turn. It's really more like we're all doing things all the time. And that's kind of what we wanted to simulate with the true simultaneous terms and what our amazing partners at Oxide Games have been aiming for. So the other big decision I'm going to make early on is what to build. So we call the buildings that you make in the game improvements. And these improvements are things from farms, the workshop, my village hall, which is the center of my territory. I'm going to go ahead and start with a mine. And the reason I'm starting with a mine is that I am gaining a lot of food, I'm gaining a lot of wood, I've got a good amount of coin coming in, but I don't have any stone. And Savannah is actually a really great place to build a mine because there is a lot of good rock, a lot of good natural earth. You can kind of take a look at the yields when you're building up improvements and see what some of those things are. So you can see this is good for stone. One thing the Savannah's not great at, though, is wood. So I'm going to take my scout, I'm going to keep exploring. My goal is to go and find some forests. The other thing you have to do on the first turn is pick a technology. Technologies in our History Untold represent the kinds of scientific advancements that people have made throughout history. You have a tech deck for each era. We start in the ancient history era, and then you'll draw some of these techs as sort of like drawing cards from a deck and get to select from those. So my first 3 technologies that I've gotten to pick from are docks, which I probably won't pick because although I do have
no water
nearby it. There's an ocean down here, but I'm not really there yet, right? I wouldn't want to build docks right away. Now, measurement scales is good because this is a technology, it's a commerce technology. It builds me ways to get more coin through a trading post. It also gives me access to a Great Triumph, the Great Pyramid of Giza, which gives you a ton of prestige if you were the first and the only nation in the world to build it. I could also take kilns, which is a technology for pottery, for building out an artisan studio, if I wanted to move down the culture route. Right now, though, I'm kind of interested in coin. I want to make a little cash, make a little Skrilla, get going, so I'm going to go ahead and build those measurement scales.
It always helps, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then after that, I'm going to go ahead and end my turn. And you can see all of the moves have accomplished. Day turns to night, night turns to day. It's now the year 5875 BCE. My people have explored further out their surroundings. They've discovered some of these incredible things, and I've also made a new friend or potential enemy. This is an independent settlement. Independent settlements in Ara are they're nations that are not really nations yet. They're these small city-states or small groups of people that have founded a tribe or founded a place somewhere in the world. They're not represented by other players. You can't play as an independent settlement in the game. They're controlled by the AI, and they can become your friends. You can even convince them to join your nation by completing enough quests and helping them along. Or you can, conquer them, pillage, take all the things. It's basically up to you. Again, rule.
The choice is yours, right?
Yeah, rule how you want to rule. So right now, my scout has discovered this great independent settlement. I'm going to wait till they come talk to me. Mm-hmm. They're going to probably want to bring me a quest or something soon in a couple turns. I could hunt these hyenas, which are causing me some problems over here.
Can they attack your scouts as well?
Well, so that's what's fun about the dangerous wildlife. Instead of having kind of roving packs of wildlife that are a danger, instead it's sort of a give and take. You have to make a choice as to whether or not to hunt the wildlife or to leave it alone. But until you hunt it, it's blocking your ability to play in that region. I can't build a farm here or a mine or a logging camp until I remove those hyenas. So it's kind of a give and take, and it's sort of a risk. They also do have the ability to hurt your scout unit if the hunt is more dangerous. So you can see the hyena is not a terribly dangerous hunt, just 2 of those little symbols. Rhinos,
yeah.
A lot more dangerous.
Different story, yeah.
Yeah, totally. So I'm going to keep going northwest, though. Instead of harvesting this equipment or hunting these hyenas, I think what I want to do is I want to keep exploring because I really need some wood. Let's check in on the city. We're still building that mine. We're a few turns out, so we got a little time. And let's end our turn. All right, we're 2 turns away from our mine, and our world has expanded. We've discovered more territory, and if you can see out in the distance here, you can just start to see the edge of what, if I had to guess, was a tropical jungle. Mm-hmm. And that's going to be really handy for me as a nation that hasn't discovered any wood yet, hasn't have a lot of great lumber logging potential being built on this beautiful savanna-like territory. So instead of continuing to push that way, let's do a hunt so we can check that out. So you can see my people have moved into position to hunt these hyenas. You can see the hyenas scatter as they run away from the hunters. And then we move back to our main city here, and we'll go ahead and end our turn. We're so close to growing to level 2, to building up our city even more. Our hunt was successful, and then in addition to a hunt, we found some fur and some leather. And that's fantastic. We earn those things by completing the hunt successfully, by defeating those animals. And so those go into what's called our national inventory. The national inventory is one of the ways that R really differentiates itself from other games in this genre. It is a way to express a more complicated economic system with more depth and more strategy to it that allows you to make a bunch of decisions about how to utilize the natural resources around you, how to build other things out of them. The game has an in-depth crafting system that allows you to take all of those resources and equipment, put them together in a bunch of interesting ways to create military units, armies, special equipment, as well as a ton of improvements and some of the great triumphs that you need. All right, so I'm going to keep exploring. Is there anything specific you'd like to see me zoom in on over here in the world to just check out before we move on to the next turn?
I just love zooming in as close as possible and seeing just all the people.
Details.
Yeah,
Yes.
all the little civilians just living their lives.
Yeah.
It's
no, the animals are running away from the cursor.
Yeah,
They sure are.
terrified. I mean, wouldn't you, right? If there was a giant cursor flying around in real life, I'd get away from it too. There are thousands of little touches like that in the game, where the game feels interactive, where that living world is an interactive simulation that feels so fun and feels great to just play. The game's very, very touch friendly. You just want to kind of mess around with stuff and see what they do, click on things, move around, in addition to, strategizing your conquering of the world.
Oh, what's happening over there, Matt?
Oh, this is exciting. So what we've discovered here is a hidden resource.
Oh.
Hidden resources in Ara are these places where things might be a little bit below the surface. For example, if you were to look for iron, you probably wouldn't see a big piece of iron sticking out in the land. You would have to survey, you'd have to go a little deeper. One of the things explorers can do is, if there's hints of a hidden resource somewhere, they can move to that hidden resource. They can actually survey and explore, and then it'll expose what that hidden resource is. And some of them can be very, very powerful, very useful.
And then you can decide if you want to mine that resource.
Exactly.
Okay,
You can choose to build a city there, expand into that region, and give yourself that opportunity to take advantage of that hidden resource. So let's see what we get. Let's take a look here and let's survey this hidden resource and see what's there to find. Now, unfortunately, this region has already been taken over by our friends from the Indian Empire under Ashoka in the city of Delhi, their capital. So whatever we find here is going to be a little bit hard for us to claim, but I'd still rather know what it is than not. So I'm going to go ahead and definitely check that out and see.
Will the other leader get a notification about you scouting his hidden resource?
Luckily not.
Okay.
They'll know I'm in their territory, but right now we have open borders. I could negotiate closed borders. They could kick me out of their borders. I could let them through my borders. Right now I'm still trying to be friendly. I proposed trade routes with everyone. I really want to, make friends with my neighbors. And it looks like this very first bit
what do we have here?
Oh, it's dye.
Oh, nice.
Dye is an interesting resource because you can use it to improve the lives of your citizens through a number of things you can build. You can build various types of clothing and things that are sort of luxury items that really help your nation feel like they're doing well, like they're happy, like they're fulfilled. And that happiness really comes into play when you're trying to expand, when you're trying to grow, when things are improving for your nation. Looks like we have a quest from our friends in Kuzdar. So they have decided to ask me to start the agricultural revolution. So this is a group of people who are hunter-gatherers right now, and they want me to research basic agriculture and share that technology with them so that they can sort of advance their own society. This will help me sort of get them on my good side. It'll move them up a level of friendliness, and it will give us the opportunity to earn some tools, some pottery, and some prestige. So I'm definitely going to go for this. I want to do that, and frankly, I was probably going to learn basic agriculture anyway, right? Everybody needs to farm, and I've got some great stuff to farm here.
So 2 flies with 1 swat.
Exactly. or as I like to say, feed 2 birds with 1 scone.
Oh, that's a lovely saying.
It's a little more friendly, right? It's kind of chill. I like it. All right, so we're continuing to move north. I was right, that is a tropical forest. Looks like we've got some...
Oh, a bear.
Some bears over here. You can see them kind of looking for honey and probably other things. Maybe some of my citizens, hopefully not. And deep here in this jungle, we probably can't spot them. They're well camouflaged. There's an alligator. So some more dangerous stuff. But if I want to build a logging camp later, that's going to be a great place to do it. So another thing has happened. My scout's still idle. Let's go ahead and move down here, collect some of these ruins and get some more things. Maybe check out those horses as well. And it looks like our mine has been completed. Let's see my people harvesting stone from the nation, getting ready. And you can see that we're building up our stone now. We're going to be getting a lot more stone this turn. The city, though, is idle. They want us to build more. So let's go ahead and pick another thing to build. I'm going to build a camp. And the reason I want to build a camp is because a camp gives us coin. It gives us access to more money, and that's, again, great for Harun al-Rashid, great for anybody. But it's a great early improvement to build. So you can see the camp will come in there, and you can see the city sort of evolves to move around it. Roads are built and housing. And then we'll go ahead and end turn. All right, here's my scout. They've discovered this new area. Let's go ahead and capture that ruins. All right, there's another cache of supplies out there to go find, which is cool. And then our city has reached a new population milestone. And that is very exciting. What that means is there is now another worker available. So within Ara History Untold, cities have levels. And these levels are representative of how many people you have in the city, and it builds over time. So we started out as a small settlement, under 100 people. Now we're over 100 people. We're a hamlet, to be or not to be a hamlet. Not that kind of hamlet. But we're a small city, we're a small settlement, and we're starting to grow up now. And because of that, we have access to more workers. Workers represent sort of the national effort that you put forward behind things to try to improve your nation. And so I'm going to go ahead and assign my worker here. My first worker was assigned to the farm. And the reason for that was to generate more food, to help us gain ground and get healthier, and also improve my growth. My second worker I'm going to put in the village hall. And the reason I want to do that is it's going to speed up how fast my nation can claim regions. Claiming regions is how you get new territory, is how you expand the borders of your cities. And so I really want to claim a region soon. So I'm going to put my worker in my village hall.
Let's see what they're saying over here. It's all in German. I won't understand it.
How many people are actually working on this game?
Yeah, so the team at Oxide Games is about 60 people, give or take, but they do also just love putting in all these little details for players to find. Like, that's really like one of the things that they're really good at too. So as soon as you get your hands on Ara, whenever that is, keep exploring, keep finding little things. I think the game's going to keep surprising you for many, many years.
Like, how many Easter eggs have you planted?
So many Easter eggs.
That's so amazing.
So another thing, now that I've got my ability to claim a region, my city's grown, and I put that worker in the village hall, it's sped up. I've got a lot of options here. I've got some that I need to clear out. You can see the yields from each of the individual biomes. The game has many, many biomes, from everything from Arctic tundra to xeric shrubland to savannas. Temperate rainforest. But for right now, we're in the savannah here. We've got a few different resources. I think, and tell me if you think I'm wrong, but I think I want to grab down here. This is a great region for a few reasons. Offers some good food, and you can obviously see there's access to rice. So there's rice fields here you can cultivate.
And you're closer to the water.
And we're closer to the water, which is going to be important for trade, for coastal improvements as well. So let's go ahead and take that. That's going to be the place. We're going to take Ardabil, which is another region southwest of me, or southeast. And we'll see, we're still a little ways off from that camp. Let's go ahead and check in on our scout. Let's keep moving into that rainforest. I want to see a little bit more over there. And then we earned some new things in our inventory. We have some bronze ingots, some brass ingots, and some tools. None of these are immediately usable by my nation. I can't immediately take advantage of them to like expand my society, to increase my happiness. There are tons and tons of resources in the game, over 100. Things like books that let you expand your education, things like candles that give you the opportunity to spread religion faster and also expand education in these early eras where people didn't have access to light sources. And so if you can give your people candles, they all of a sudden have the ability to read at night, and that expands your education. So these are going to be important for later, but right now I can't really use them yet. They're going to go into my inventory and I'll be able to use them to maybe build those pyramids or something else. And it looks like my research is completed. I've found measurement scales. I can draw some new technologies. Haroon's a little bit of a traditionalist, big into religion. I think I'm going to go for animism, start my path down religious discovery. It also unlocks a new government, theocracy, which will allow me to expand my nation further. All right, and from here, we'll continue to explore. I found a new independent settlement. You can see they're a little bit different. They've built out here in this tropical jungle. They have a kind of a different vibe, different people wandering about, different experiences because of their sort of different life. And then over here in the savannah, we've got our thing going on, which is going pretty well. We've claimed this region now, which means we can build improvements on it. And we were the first to discover that independent settlement, which gained us a little bit of prestige.
What was your main inspiration for this game?
Our friends and partners at Oxide have between them decades, if not centuries of experience working on some of the biggest turn-based strategy games of all time, and including some of my own personal favorites. And so they wanted to take all of their learnings from years and years of building these kinds of games and build something that, again, feels familiar, but at the same time sort of evolves the genre, modernizes it, brings it forward in a bunch of new ways, with things like the living world, with things like the true simultaneous turns, with the deep crafting system. And so when they talk to me, I learn so much from them all the time, but they're so inspired by what's come before and so inspired by all the things that they've created, but they want to find ways to break ground, to make new experiences for the 4X fans, for the turn-based strategy fans, for the millions of gamers that love these games worldwide. And I like to think of Ara as being almost kind of a love letter to them at the same time as being a grand experiment, something brand new that they haven't seen before.
And Livy, you guys are working very closely with your communities, right?
Yes, very closely. The wonderful thing about our History Untold is that we've been able to really work with our communities to help develop the game. We have a wonderful insider program where fans from all over the world have been playing the game even before we've shared gameplay here. We've been inviting fans to play the game and getting their feedback, and so we've made a number of changes to the game based on feedback from real fans, and it's been a really wonderful and delightful experience, and just such a wonderful community to help be a part of.
Yeah, it's so amazing to see something grow, like when lots of people are involved, and sometimes maybe surprises even come up, Matt.
Absolutely. I mean, honestly, the Insider program has been so fantastic, and it's been such a great thing to be able to help, furnish for our friends at Oxide Games, for being able to give them real feedback. For over a year now, we've had tens of thousands of gamers in our Insider program. History game fans, strategy game fans, and thousands have played in our technical alphas that we've run, and we were planning to run several more before we were ready for launch in 2024, and we're really excited about that opportunity. So if you would like to become an insider, you can go to www.arahistoryuntold.com and click on the Join the Insider program and become an insider today. There's no fee to sign up. It's totally free. It's totally fun. And it's a great way to stay up to date on the game and stay up to date on the development, but also to put your hat in the ring for potentially getting to play early builds of the game before it comes out in 2024.
That is so exciting.
All right. So at this point, we're pretty close to the end of our demo. We could keep playing forever. I could just keep going, and I have this urge to just keep playing. I just built a farm on some rice. I'm very excited about. I'm cultivating that. I'm at the cusp of something great. We've uncovered even more.
There's
of the map.
always something to do. It's
Always.
Yeah.
And honestly, we have barely scratched the surface of our History Untold here today. There is so much more to come in the modern era as you move forward into Act 2 and Act 3 of the game, as you go and look at things like the standings and the prestige system that allows you to discover how well you're doing against other nations and hopefully find your way to become one of the most prestigious in the world, all the different ways you can accomplish things. It's truly a very large game, a very deep game, and it's been extremely gratifying to have the chance to share it with you today. So I really, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for coming to our Gamescom preview.
No, thank you for this lovely insight. And I mean, watching was already so much fun, and I really, really can't wait to get my hands on the game because I so want to play it.
Well, of course, Melly, it was great having you, and you should absolutely join the Insider program if you like what you've seen.
I will, and you guys hopefully too. And one important part of ARA is also the music, and we have a lovely inside look on how this all came together. So enjoy.
Yeah, I haven't played this in a while.
Lovely.
Thank you. ARA is a grand strategy game where you basically are taking a nation from the very dawn of time, 6000 BC, dawn of humanity, and nurturing these people and building it up through the ages to the future age. You are learning technologies, unlocking new kinds of buildings, taking care of your people's happiness, their wealth, and all these different things until the future age, and then hopefully, winning the game at that point. When we began ARA way back in the day, one of the very first things we did was really approach designing this title with the music in mind. It wasn't an afterthought. We weren't like, oh no, we need to go find audio. It was really from the ground up, how will music help to enhance the player's experience and really key them into the emotive state of what's happening currently in the game.
I feel that we've created something that's uniquely interactive, especially for a 4X strategy title. We take actual data from the game and use that to drive the musical experience.
Music and audio in general is very important to Oxide as a culture. So often you see in these games where people turn the music off because they've heard the same song over and over again and it gets dull and boring, and that's sad because audio has a really unique way to really connect with people emotionally and really get them invested and immersed in an experience that they're in. And when you lose that audio, you're losing so much emotive power for the player. So I really wanted to make sure from the very beginning that music was deeply incorporated into how the game was designed.
All the cues were recorded in 5 different layers, and it wasn't as simple as, all right, now we're going to do the strings or now the brass and the winds. Every layer has a mix of all kinds of different instruments because we didn't want it to just feel like unnaturally separated. We wanted each layer to be able to stand on its own. One of the goals with this soundtrack was to try to replace all that sampled music with live instrument playing, and we did that. And I'm really proud of that fact, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and what's really interesting is as you play, you know, the game is tracking what you're doing, your choices are impacting the world, the map, your opponents, and the music manager is actually also then pinging this data into the actual soundtrack where it's turning different layers on, turning different instruments on and off, and then also switching seamlessly between these different themes. So as you're playing, you will never hear the same soundscape because you're never going to be taking the same actions from turn to turn. So it is this really, truly dynamic, unique experience that does mirror your gameplay and hopefully the player's actual emotive state in the moment as well.
Absolutely. I wanted to try something new in the way of interactive music. We wanted it to be completely data-driven and new every playthrough.
We also remember you employed these things which you coined verticals. So it isn't like it's just sound effects like binks and bonks and clicks. So when you mouse around and do things, you actually have sounds that are musical in nature, like little motifs that will pop up and then interact with the music.
Yeah, exactly. That's another interactive feature of the soundtrack. There are a very diverse number of types of instruments from all over the world and from all different time periods, ancient to modern, you know. We looked for instruments from every time, period, and culture that we could think of. You know, nothing was off limits. We actively searched to include as much as we possibly could. If for no other reason, for the vast variety of sounds. I think there's something that's unique in the music that is a merging of cultures, you know, and so that was something that was very conscious.
We really are trying to push the boundaries on what can be done now in games and really trying to make a new experience.
You know, I'm really happy with how it turned out. The other thing that I'm truly proud of, even though I didn't really have much to do with it, is just the look of the game, the living world, and how we were able to integrate audio into that. Is just something really special.
Well, that's cool.
Day 2 here at Gamescom may be coming to an end, but don't worry, because the Xbox Gamescom party doesn't end here.
That's right, Maxi. Day 3 is right around the corner, where we'll go behind the scenes with Ninja Theory for Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. And joining us on stage will be Senua herself, Melina Jurgens.
Plus, we're bringing you more gameplay from titles like Payday 3, Party Animals Towerborn, and from 400 feet above Cologne, City Skylines 2.
Ooh. Plus, we'll traverse the Austrian Alps with a look at Dungeons of Hinterberg. Basically, it's going to be a good time, and you shouldn't miss it.
So join us right back here tomorrow for our coverage of Gamescom 2023. Danke und viel Spaß beim Zocken!
Switching over to Bethesda. He's getting ready. Right there. Alright, I'm gonna probably full screen it, turn off my camera, and mute myself. So I want to hear everything he's got to say. No distractions. Let's see. There we go. Here we go. Like los. Whatever that means. Oh, you know what? I'll turn the audio off of the other one. And we'll just pause it or stop it Where'd it go? Where'd my other one go? Here it is. Think I got any audio going right now? Oh, here we go. Exciting. Oh, some Elder Scrolls music in the background. Any moment now. Dude, what did that guy win? That long box. No. Make sure. Not for some reason doing it over here. Okay. They're not. Just taking time. Oh yeah, here comes the audio crew. Oh, there goes the audio crew. I mean,
Hello and welcome back. So for everyone who's asking, we are doing this one in English, like all the time. There's no German language in here. We tried to teach Pete a bit of German, but
9.
we failed. We failed.
I failed.
No, it's all good. No. So it will be in English. So no one. I mean, you can still ask all your questions in German in the chat. We are able to translate it, but that will be in English. So a lot of people have asked what this is about. It's about Starfield and Pete Heinz. So happy to introduce Pete. Pete was last time you were here was 2021 when we did the COVID live stream. It was only online. It was with Aaron Greenberg back then. Yeah, that was the last time. So
when was the last time I was here? In
here, 2019,
18, somewhere in there.
2018.
I've been to so many Gamescoms, they all blur together. But it's awesome to be back here with you all.
It's glad to have you here. I'm really glad.
So how are you?
I'm really glad too. Thank you that you're joining our live stream today.
How was your first Gamescom with us and me and Starfield? And like, you haven't been through something like this.
Yes,
it's a little crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very crazy to work for the other side because I was influencer and content creator for the last year. So it's amazing to work on the publisher side and have all of you guys here around to see the developer, see everyone from the team, and it's amazing for me to meet you in person, to meet Todd in person. It was such an honor for me.
Todd, I get. I'm not sure I understand why it's cool to meet me, but
it's cool to meet all of you. It's so cool to meet all of you, and I'm so nervous, but yeah.
We're gonna have fun. We're just gonna talk about a game. Like we've spent so long working on this. Let's just hang out and talk.
Fun to finally being able to talk about it, right? So there's one important question, and that is on my list for the first thing to talk about. Okay, there's something with the sound. Oh. People are asking, who are you? So, and maybe it's a good one because I think you explained it several times, but since we saw you last time, I think your title changed as well. So
yeah, I
maybe
guess it did.
It's good to explain what you're doing, who you are.
My name is Pete Heinz. I'm the head of publishing for Bethesda Softworks, so I work with all of the teams that do all of.
Usually are super interested in what we are doing all day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for us, it's normal day-to-day work. I mean, I know what I'm doing most of the time. Most of the time.
Really?
But for most people, it's super exciting to see what's happening behind the scenes. How do you market a game? How do you actually come up with a whole plan? When did you hear about Starfield for the first time?
Right.
Don't tell me 25 years ago.
No. Around the time that Todd first pitched this to our now departed chairman of Bethesda and ZeniMax, Robert Altman, and he had this idea for wanting to do a space game, and this was 8 years ago, 10 years ago. And really, like, he had an idea, which was, I want to do a massive outer space game, and I want to call it Starfield. And listen, like, you need to understand and respect how crazy that is to go. Like, we're about to finish. This would have been Fallout 4, I think. We're about to finish and ship Fallout 4, and Todd's pitch was like, listen, I don't want to go back and have the next game be the Elder Scrolls. Like, I want you to let us make this thing we've always wanted to make. And, you know, to his credit, Robert didn't balk at the idea of, you know, because if you're Robert, if you're the chairman, like, hey, the biggest thing in this company's history is the Elder Scrolls. Like, so you're going to go make another Elder Scrolls game, right? Like, I can hear them. They're all yelling for another Elder Scrolls game. Todd's like, I know, but we've always wanted to do this thing. And, like, if we don't do it now, I don't know if we ever will. And Robert said, okay, let's do it. I'm excited. You know, he heard Todd's pitch, and Todd was like, we need to save this name. Like, I love the name. We need to have the name. And fast forward, and here we are about to release this whole thing to the world. Yeah. And it's you know, scary and exciting. It's sort of all the emotions, but given how much we've all gotten to see it and play it and how long we've worked on it, like it's time. Like we need to turn this over to the people who make a game, which is all of the players who take it and make it their own and share their stories. And I mean, we're a week away.
Yeah, that's scary. But it's actually a good point because that's what people tend to forget, I think. I mean, we work on those games for a long, long, long time. Giving it away is kind of heartbreaking.
Scary,
It's scary. It's because you're like, okay, now it's out there. Now people can talk about it. They can do it whatever they want to.
No, they can judge it.
They can break it.
Yeah.
I mean, we do spend so much time trying to, like, protect it, right? Like, not have it leak out there, not have people know about it before, like, We know what it is or what's good about it. And you are essentially taking it from being a thing you're protecting internally to hand it over to the world. And boy, I hope they love it as much as we loved it. And my hope and my belief is there are a lot of people who are going to.
Could it be possible that his makers? Yeah.
Closer.
Thank you. Just more to your mouth, please.
Test.
I could hear everything, but
It sounded like my mic went out all of a sudden.
Okay, but is it working now, Chad?
Yeah, it sounds like your mic is off. Yeah.
Move his mic closer. The mic is kind of low. We lost the sound.
How that? 1, 2, no?
We lost the sound on Pete. Sound is gone.
It's just too quiet. It's not gonna
Yeah.
all right. Not.
Okay. Good stream.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Let's
you.
have a
Thank you
drink
very
now.
much.
Okay.
Thank you.
How about this? Are we giving away anything? You want to take a pause and give something?
Yeah.
Oh,
we
yeah.
can do that. That's
That's a
actually
very
a good
good
point.
idea.
So, I wanted to give away a Starfield controller.
Yeah.
Kati said we should give away more. She's more generous than I am. I said not just the controller, and she's like, no, let's give away more. So.
Yeah, because both of them look so amazing with the constellation colors.
I can maybe, I mean, some of you might have already bought it, but if you put it in your hands, I don't have it at home yet, but it's just, it feels so perfect.
But if you don't want to give it to our
maybe I can be the winner? How about that?
viewers, you can give it to me. You can give it to me. I take it.
I mean, I love the
the attention to detail.
Attention to detail.
Yeah.
Is
Like
fantastic.
Amazing.
And it feels so high quality. I mean, it is high quality.
Yeah.
But you can also feel it, and it's actually property of Constellation, so I can't give it to you.
Sorry, guys.
So maybe we do one person can win the controller, and the other one, hand over to Kati. She can introduce the headset.
Thank you. Yeah, here's our Starfield headset. As you can see, also with the constellation colors and, of course, many more details.
Have either of you had a chance to use this headset?
Yeah, I bought it. I saw it. I had to buy it.
Yeah.
The sound effects from the game when you're
When you're turning it on and off, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't know why
yeah.
that matters so much, but every time I have it, it turns on. I get a
You
little
feel like
ooh.
Yeah, you feel like you're sitting in a cockpit, in a real cockpit.
I feel like an
so
astronaut.
yeah, feel like an astronaut.
The
It's so
hardware
amazing.
team at Xbox is they're
Amazing.
awesome,
Yeah.
and the time and effort they put into this was just
And also
incredible.
here with the little details. Look at this beauty. Oh, look at my nails. Starfield nails. Yeah, also here.
Well, good luck, everybody. I hope you win it because both of these things are amazing.
It is limited, right?
Yeah.
It's a limited edition, so I'm not sure. I mean, can you still buy it? I don't even know.
I don't either.
I have no idea. So you have
We've been
to check
trying
out.
to ship the game. We're not as
Yeah.
worried right now about.
But in general, I mean, I love merchandise, but I try not to buy too much because it just takes up so much space from my
Yeah.
apartment. But I had to buy all of that already. It's
Yeah.
just like
It's what I play Starfield with is my controller and headset.
Yeah.
I'm official, baby.
And even if you want to the winner of the headset or the controller, maybe Pete can sign it.
You want me to ruin it by signing it?
I mean, some people like that. If it's just
yeah,
an offer.
maybe
If
yeah,
people
it's just
want
an
it,
offer.
fine. If
If-
not,
yeah.
I've never said no to anybody
could
who's
also
wanted me to
sign
sign
the
something.
box.
Okay,
That's also an
I would
option.
feel better about signing the box.
That's actually cool because I usually also don't keep boxes, but I
Yeah.
can't throw that one away. So that was a good break. Where did we stop? Giving it away to people, and then now people can start judging.
Yeah.
It. So
it's a very good point because we are on the Gamescom, of course.
Mhm.
And so what can people expect? What can they see here on the Gamescom?
Yeah, like we didn't go overboard because like we are launching a game in a week and we have so many people who need to focus on all the things that happen for that to go well. But we wanted to give folks a taste for showing sort of a condensed version of the beginning of the game, so you kind of get to see how you start, character creation. You just get a little sense of how it feels to play the game. It gives folks a sense of like who you get to be. And, you know, the game starts very narrow focus. You're underground, you're a miner. It's sort of like not spectacular and cool. And then you get to emerge out into like, not just like, oh, you can go to that mountain. Like, no, there's way more to this than just that mountain or walk this way. There's planets and systems and the size and scope of this as the game reveals itself to you can feel a little daunting, But, you know, I feel like once you get a couple of hours in, there just starts to be this moment where you understand how all of these things fit together for you, right? Not for us, because we don't want to say, oh, you have to do these things, you have to do those things. Like, if you don't want to do ship combat, that's what the grav drive's for, right? Like, people run away from fights all the time. Like, just use your grav drive, jump to somewhere else. You don't have to get in combat. We want you to find your way and who you want to be and the stories you want to tell, because it's your game.
That's the key message for the game, so that you can have an adventure on your own. And
then there's another moment that happens where you start to see and hear about the things that other people are doing, and it's another way that the game is able to reveal to you just how big it is, because you do so many different things than somebody else. Even like the number of hours doesn't matter, right? Like telling somebody, oh, I played Starfield for 40 hours tells you nothing about what that person has done. Like, I had a conversation with Todd. This was a couple of months ago now, I think. And he was like, how far are you in? I was like, I just hit 80 hours. And he's like, so what did you think of the main quest? And I said, oh, I haven't done it. Like, at all. And he goes, what are you doing? Like, I need you to play. I was like, well, I was doing all these other things. I'm trying factions and seeing, what does it feel like? He's like, you have to play the main quest. And so 80 hours in, I went from doing one game to a completely different game where I started really focusing on the main quest. And then I got so caught up in the main quest that I spent the next 50 hours just doing that. Like, I forgot about all the other things because I got so wrapped up in the story. And like, we intentionally don't talk about the main quest a lot because truthfully it is super spoilery. But I'm here to tell you that this game doesn't really even get going until you finish the main quest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Secretive enough.
But again, you don't have to, but what they've done there, that story, it's my favorite Bethesda Game Studios story. It's my favorite Bethesda Game Studios ending to a story. And I think and hope people enjoy it as much as I have.
Okay, I need vacation.
When do you want off? You want to?
Next week, maybe next week.
Next week after next week. Right?
That would be awesome.
Yeah, maybe we can.
So I'm on vacation, chat. I'm say goodbye.
So maybe that's also something interesting for the chat. That, I mean, of course, we are sometimes, not always, allowed to play the games before they release. So we all have played a bit of Starfield. Some have more, some have less. Depends on when you started. I mean, and if you have kids or not, right? I mean, I thought yesterday that when I got to play the game, I got up at 5. So I had at least 2 hours in the morning to play the game when my kid was still sleeping.
Yeah. Kids are hard on gaming. The little ones are. When they get to be the age my boys are, 20 and 24, they're awesome for gaming.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, at 3.5, it's kind of hard to tell. Yeah, sit next to me and play stuff.
Yes.
What are you looking forward to doing? Like, you've only gotten to play a little. Like, is there things that you've seen or you know about that you say, like, I really want to try that myself?
I think I really want to try a spaceship, to build a spaceship.
Oh, yeah.
When I first, I mean, we were talking about it in the office a bit. And everyone was like, I need to build a spaceship, my own spaceship. That's what I'm looking forward to. And I was like, I don't know if I want a spaceship. It seemed so much and so overwhelming. And when I looked at it, I was like, oh my God, you can do so much stuff. But you can't do everything from day one. So there is, I mean, you need to play a while until you can get to the really cool stuff. So
although that's a really good point, Franzi, and something I don't want folks to miss, which is like, you literally can't do everything immediately. Like, this is still a role-playing game. And you are still playing a character that has skills, and those skills determine what you can or can't do. So you can't just see a Class C ship and go, oh, I'm going to capture that and fly it around. Like, well, not if you're don't have the piloting skills to pilot a Class C ship. You're not going anywhere. Like, you have to spend time getting to be good at piloting spaceships if you want to fly higher class ships. And so that sort of that tension of like the skill of your character and what you want to do, like we want you to make choices and sort of play the kind of character that you actually have to do those things if you want to get better at them or do more of it. And I think folks are really, once you start playing, like you start to understand like, oh, I got it. Like I can't just click a skill and like, voila, I can you got to spend a lot of time flying, shooting, like being a pilot in order to be, a better pilot.
It's like in real life, right?
How about you? What are you? You haven't gotten to play very much at all. So like what you've seen, whether it's factions or main quests or like, what do you?
I think I want to do the main quest at first, to be honest, because I'm curious about it. I want to have the answer for humanity. So I need it. I wanted to. But it's also, I think, shipbuilding is something I really want to do. I want to build a cat, if that's possible. Or something like a cat.
Spaceship as like a cat.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
that would be awesome.
They can build a flying robot thing.
Yeah,
like, why
yeah,
is
like
that?
the Max.
Yeah.
Why not?
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
But I need to do the main quest as my priority.
Yeah, it's the one. Our games are always very good at like, oh, I'm definitely going to do this.
Yeah.
And then you suddenly start getting the pull.
Oh,
of
yes.
Like, wait a minute, what was that? What did that person
I know that.
Wait, what was going on over
yeah.
there? And then the next thing you know, like your desire to stay on that main quest has been completely shattered because you accidentally just spent like 4 nights in a row just playing on Mars and doing all these things on Mars. Like, wait,
I actually wanted to do something else.
Yeah.
I had other plans here and they've been completely sidelined.
Yeah,
what I really love is Vasco. I mean, I was a huge fan from day one, but now in game he says so much funny stuff. I'm just like, what the hell?
I think
the
he's
coolest
I
guy.
think he might be the most popular companion amongst folks who play for that and many other reasons, which is
he just says so
very hilarious.
I mean, he's a robot, and I still have an emotional attachment.
Yeah,
like,
he's got
the robot.
He has a great personality. Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to playing. I'd like hearing more from him.
And he's also one of your first companions you get in the game?
Yeah, I mean, he's literally the first one. I mean, he's before you even join Constellation, he's charged with getting you to where you need to go to. But after that point, it's up to you. I mean, we talk about it like it does matter, right? Like if you have some companions and you do things like I do, which is if something's locked, I want to know what's behind that. Why is there a lock on this, and what are you trying to keep me from? What's in there? I'm picking that. And it matters what companions you're with. Like there are companions who will think less of you when they see you picking locks. So it's like,
oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Like you can't just go do whatever you want and have any companion
so
be okay with it. Yes. Like they have different personalities. They have different abilities and attributes, and it actually matters like what kind of things you're doing. If you're if they're standing there watching you, like, hey, that's not okay. Like, oh crap, I should have left you on the ship.
I like it. I mean, you have also worked on Fallout and Skyrim. I was not with the company when both games came out, and everyone is telling me it's super cool working on a BGS game because the release is different than for most other games. It's just you could call it historic. I mean, Skyrim is just so huge. People still play it. They still buy it. They are still super excited about it.
Yep.
Can you see any similarities already, or is it completely different from the campaign you did for Skyrim and for Fallout?
I mean, first of all, like important to note, since Oblivion, Fallout 3, like they haven't been like my campaign. Like Erin Losey, who's now our global head of marketing community, like Skyrim was her campaign. Like she did that. She was a senior brand manager. She came up with and did that amazing live action commercial. So like across the years as we've made these games, it's actually been different people who have come in to work with BGS and sort of help move the ball forward as we figure out how to do another campaign that's different and fresh. And look, one of the things, like it's not to say that like there isn't super excitement for Doom Eternal or Dishonored 2 or Hi-Fi Rush. It's just it's different, and I think the difference is probably comes from a place like if you go and look at our player numbers on Skyrim and how many millions of people played Skyrim like last month, you realize that like this is not a game that gets measured in hours. Like we measure engagement. There are still so many people playing the original Morrowind 20 years later that like you measure this in decades, how long people play these games, how much it means to them. And I think that is part and parcel of why things like this feel different, because people who are going to play this, like that's how they feel about this. Like I'm going to lose myself in this for forever, for years.
And I mean, you have all those stories about mental health and that gaming really helps people to survive sometimes.
I mean, it
bring them through tough times,
especially in the Corona time.
Or whatever, like whatever is going on in people's lives, whether it's dealing with the loss of a loved one or being stuck inside and away from others because of COVID, like whatever it's going on, we offer escapism. Like one of the reasons video games is so powerful is it's a form of escapism where you're in control, right? You're not watching a TV show or a movie passively where I'm just going to experience what story somebody else wants to tell. Like, no, this is yours.
Yeah.
You get to decide. You have the agency, and it gives you that sense of pride because you made those choices. You did those things. Like somebody else didn't decide that's how that was going to play out.
That's why people have that attachment and they can't stop playing because it's part of their life at some point. Yeah. Kati has all the Skyrim editions, she told me earlier. All of them.
All of them.
There's a lot of them too, right?
A lot of them, yeah.
We just seem to keep making more of those.
5, 6,
okay, there's someone saying I already quit my job because I know I will lose myself and stuff. Okay, wow.
I'm not sure we encourage folks quitting their jobs.
No.
But I will say, and I say this jokingly, but like one of the things that I measure like how big a launch is how many notes I get from other game company folks in studios like, hey, you're really screwing up our dev right now because everybody's staying up till 3 a.m. playing your game and showing up exhausted and bleary and seriously, you're crushing us here. Like this game is actually causing a problem right now, and it's it's all with the best of intentions. But like, hey, that's fun when it even happens to us. Like when we handed it out to employees, we had a number of folks who had the like, whoa, I went down the rabbit hole. Like I just hopped on at 10 for I'm going to play for an hour, and then fast forward, it's 4:30 in the morning. Like they've got kids. Like, I really just stepped.
The night is over in 2 hours.
But you can lose yourself in this game for 5-6 hours in the blink. Like you just will not notice that it's gone by because it pulls you in a way that I just find, truthfully, I find it magical.
Yeah, we have a very funny story. At first, when we get the game in the office, in our office Xbox, everyone wants to play it. So we're sitting on the couch, everyone around the TV. No one wants to work anymore.
Right? Yeah. So
and Frenzy always, where are they? Where are the people?
And I think it was before an event, and I was like, guys, I mean, I know, but
but we still have to do this. We still have.
Was
to.
it right before the ESO Tavern or something? And I was like,
I think
I
so,
know, I would love to sit here too.
Yeah, we are sitting next to the TV, and and you can do that. Oh my gosh, friend, no.
We'll be right there.
Yeah. We're coming back.
It was so hilarious, really. I mean, it was everyone, like the whole team. I was like, okay, wow. So I think we were 6 or 7 people in a very small room.
Yes.
I think there's going to be a lot of that going on.
And what I'm really looking forward to is for all the stories that people tell each other. Because that's what I liked in the office already, like also sharing with colleagues from other territories and just hearing what they did, what they experienced. And like in our mock reviewer, maybe for some people who don't know, sometimes we have like usually journalists coming in a bit earlier, testing the game, trying the game, playing through the game. And he came at some point and had tears in his eyes because he could build his first spaceship, and he was like, it's just such a magical moment.
That's amazing.
I had to share it with you. We were like, oh my god. And we all hadn't played it at that point. Yeah. So we're like,
we were jealous. So jealous.
So that's just like so cool that even those people who get to play all the games on Earth still have those feelings sometimes.
Yeah.
Regie, können wir den Live-Action-Trailer bald mal zeigen? What we would like to talk to you about is the live-action trailer.
Yes.
I just asked the production if they are ready, because I think that one is magical. Like the live-action trailer is
I've been at
stunning.
this. I have 6-7 weeks from being at this company for 24 years. It is by far the best trailer.
That's what I said yesterday. I'm not sure if I ever saw a trailer like that before.
And the one that I probably had by far the least to do with. So like it's not because it was my idea or like I did nothing except watch it happen and just marvel at our team and them nailing sort of how to execute this in a way that had, for me, it has heart, right?
Yes.
Like the Skyrim live action trailers when I go to, like the way that set a tone and vibe for the game in a way that the gameplay couldn't, I thought was really something special. But this one took it a step further because it doesn't just set a tone, but it sort of taps into at least a good part of what I think Starfield is about, which is like it's not just about exploration, but there's like a lifting others up with you element to it that I just find really heartwarming and special.
Yeah, maybe we should show it to everyone. We released it on, I need to remember, Tuesday night
what
after
day is
the opening night live. Today's Thursday.
Okay. 2 days ago. So 2 days ago.
So yeah, let's take a look at the trailer and then we can talk a bit more about that. And
so good.
You got me again.
It's the same for me. I said it in the theater yesterday. I can watch that 100 times and I still get goosebumps.
I mean, I think we have watched it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, but I don't know why. It's always when I watch the trailer, I get so emotional inside. So I don't know. It's like I have to cry, but I don't know why. Maybe it's I'm proud of it. The trailer is amazing, and I always get goosebumps and emotional, and I think it's amazing. It's amazing.
By the way, I saw something
Arrow
in
in
there.
the heart.
I didn't want it to go miss because I wanted to say something after we watched that, which is like the music in this game and how good Enon's soundtrack is. How many hours of my life over the last 4 months that I have spent when I will leave the game in sort of like a ship in outer space and just let it sit there, and just so that I can sit and leave it on. I'm going to go do this, but I want to listen to the music because it's unbelievable how good it is and how much it amplifies the emotion and tone of the game in different ways as you play through it. It's awesome. And since somebody asked, no, we are not doing a making of Starfield because it's a week to go and we haven't started yet. So listen, I know we do things. We get this a lot, like, hey, you did this previously for a game. Like, are you doing it again? That's not honestly, we get really careful about not just repeating the same thing just because we did it last time. And this game required something different. And we didn't do a making of, but in case you missed it, we did do a feature film length reveal of this game during Starfield Direct. That 42-minute thing was an unbelievable amount of work. It was honestly almost infinitely more work than a making of because it took so much work, and the filming and the work by the dev team, it was an unbelievable amount of work, and sort of we had to put all of our heart and soul and effort into that as a thing because we just felt like the challenge of explaining something this big to folks in a way like I still don't know what this is. We really had to go wide and deep to an extent that allowed us to explain it so folks go okay, now I get it. Now I understand how, imagine trying to do that Starfield Direct in 8 minutes.
Not possible.
You wouldn't have a clue what we were making. It's nuts.
Here someone is asking, can we get out of the ship in space and spacewalk?
I don't know. It's not a thing I've ever done. It's not a go float around. You're not jumping out to go fix a satellite. It's
exactly. I was of course you can walk on the planet.
I know I have been jettisoned out of a ship in outer space, but that was totally unintentional and highly comical. I tried a ship landed on a surface. Todd had this happen to him too, and went and I created a save game because again, I like to test the game when I'm in this phase of what does the game do here, right? Because I know our players are going to try different things. So I would wait until they all went to explore, and I would sneak and follow them and kill them one by one, and then I'd go back to the save okay, they're still on the. I'm just going to bum rush the ship, throwing grenades, kill everybody, and I did, and I went to go into the ship, to enter the actual inside of the ship itself. And the pilot hadn't left the ship, and the door was locked, and he just took off with me in the cargo hold, and the thing is closing. And I was like, I have no idea what to do. What did I just do? What do I do now? I'm not prepared for this. And eventually I fell out of the ship for some crazy height and died. And okay, good to know. If there's still somebody in the captain's chair and you run on the ship, you can and will be taken off into outer space. Good luck with that.
I'm sure everyone will try it now as well. What other questions do we have? I'm just trying to hopefully answer some from the chat.
Maybe
I saw the new Game Plus question, which is a good one. I'm not telling you. Seriously, it is. It's part of the main quest.
You should.
Duh. That's how New Game Pluses work. But I'm not saying anything. I think that's the kind of thing that fans should see and experience for themselves because it's special. And it's really spoilery.
And no one wants to get spoiled here. No.
Do you have questions? What do you have on your... I can't see.
I'm sorry. I need to write everything down. No, because we're talking about such an emotional trailer with the live-action trailer. Do you remember your first stunning or wow moment in the game? Your first emotional, stunning moment?
First emotional, stunning moment?
Yeah.
Boy, that's a good question. Because that goes back a really long... I mean, honestly, I think the first time was one of those, like, landed on a random planet. Like, I was doing the, like, okay, what's it like to go on another planet? How is each one different? You know, because, again, as Todd says, like, some of them are barren, some of them are not, resources or whatever. And so I was just jumping, like, okay, well, let's see what that feels like. Go to a system, land on a bunch of different moons and planets, scan them, see what resources they have. You know, do they have creatures? Do they not? And on one of them, it was just one of those, like, come out of the ship and, like, you know, there's multiple moons and there's another planet over there. And they were, you know, I think it was one of those things where, like, I was listening to Enon's music, so I just left it there and went to do something and came back and, like, you can see the moons and the planets. And it was just, like, it felt like sitting on another planet and just looking at this beautiful shot. It was... I just left it and sat there for like 5 minutes, just like, this is crazy. This is so amazing. I think probably that it had to be something like that for me. That sort of feels like the first thing that you know, it wasn't some crazy combat thing or this creature or that quest. Like, no, it was just being on another planet and feeling like I'm on another planet. Like, I am so far from home and this is so cool.
Will there be a photo mode to capture these moments?
Girl, please, of course.
I need to ask.
I mean, we talked about it in the Starfield Direct, right? Like, you can compose really cool shots, and again, you know, to your point, Franzi, that is the stuff that we love to see, right? We love to see the moments that people capture, the experience they have. Because again, like, I want to be clear, I've like my current playthrough, I'm probably like 160 hours or something like that. But like, but I also played it over the holidays on a different build.
Now.
And that was like 100 or so. Like, you know, I've played this game a lot. I haven't even come close to seeing what's out there. And part of this is like finding cool moments and things other people have done, and then like realizing all of that is out there for you. But I do like, I know some folks are like, hey, like this planet isn't the same for everybody, so like I'm gonna find something, I can't tell somebody to go find that same thing. Like in some cases you will be able to. We do have fixed locations like cities and so forth, so you can say, oh, you have to go to Aquila City or Neon and do this or find that. Like, that's still a thing. But it's the more sort of environmental storytelling and like the emergent gameplay where you can't say, like, I remember we had somebody in the Slack that we have where we're talking to each other while we're playtesting and asking questions and so forth. And somebody, what were they asking about? I just completely blanked. Oh, they said there's a quest. There's a lot of emergent stuff in space, right? You're used to being in Skyrim and walking around and like, you know, a bandit jumps you or like, you know, there's little combat situations or coming across somebody. Like, well, we have to do that in outer space as well. Like, you can't tell people be on a spaceship, like be a spaceship captain and not have random things for them to find while they're in space. So there's different ships you'll come across. Some of them are flying around, some of them are derelict or have been exploded or star stations. But like the ability to like, I came across this thing and they wanted my help and I can't figure out where they were. Like, what planet is that? And we're like, oh, sorry, like we can't tell you like what planet that is. But what we can tell you is like everybody gets a chance at that at some point as you're exploring. Do you know what I mean? Like, as there's so much, it's less about where and just more about like when are we able to put these things in front of you so that it's appropriate, because we don't know like how much time you're going to spend in space or on a planet or in a city or what you want to do. So like it's not a formula that everybody has the same thing. Like that's actually the fun part. Like you get those, I used to call them water cooler moments until I realized nobody uses water coolers. So coffee maker moment. Somebody earlier today said it's a coffee maker moment. Even though I don't drink coffee, I'm using that one. So it's those coffee maker moments where people get to talk about like, I played for 5 hours last night and I did all these things and like, wait, what did you say? What was like, you did what? Like, oh yeah, you have to go here. And like those things are still exist, and the sharing that joy, like, gets people excited to go try and do and explore other things in a game that is all about like exploration and humanity exploring the vastness of space and finding like literally what is out there.
Someone has been asking what your favorite food is in game. They probably want to hear the sandwich.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's not the sandwich.
Jamie has cornered the sandwich market. She owns that. That's hers. We acknowledge that. I don't know if I have a favorite food. I eat a lot of chunks. It's one of the brands in the game. You'll get it when you see it.
I think we talked about that.
Yeah,
already.
chunks
So that's
is
out there.
yeah. But like I don't have a specific like I always get this. That's not.
But there
really
is a
how
lot
I
of
play.
food in game. That's
I do this weird thing, though. I mean, as both of you are, I know you're aware. I'm not sure if she's had been to enough meals with me to know, like, I'm maybe the world's pickiest eater, most boring eater. And I don't let my character eat anything in a game that I wouldn't eat in real life.
Okay.
Yeah, like if there's tomatoes in it, I'm not eating it. Sorry, I don't do tomatoes. Like, I might be role-playing that character, but their dietary tastes are still mine, so I don't like no onions, no tomatoes, like nope, not eating that. I know it's weird, but like, hey, it's a role-play game. That's the whole point: is make up those stories in your head about who you are and who you want to be. And I'm not eating that. And I won't eat anything I find out of a package.
Because it could be.
Yeah, because you find things that are wrapped, but you also just find like, there's a half-eaten sandwich, or somebody like took the chunks out of the packaging. Like, nope, not touching that. I don't know where that's been.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You don't know where the finger has been
exactly.
touched it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. That's a good one. Yeah.
What else?
So
Got a lot of stuff on there. Come on, let's burn through some questions. What do you got for me?
Yeah, you can choose a lot of abilities in Starfield.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is your favorite one for the game, and which would you choose for your real life? The adoring fan.
No. No.
No, definitely no.
Well, the character that sadly, his name is Colonel. And his gameplay has come to an end because I'm starting my for real game when I get back tomorrow. But I made him wanted. I sort of created this backstory of like former military guy who was like commanded to go like attack a thing, and he refused the order and like disobeyed and was discharged dishonorably, and like whoever kicked him out like still is trying to get him like knocked off because so you get bounty hunted like every now and then somebody shows up on a like that. So that's why when ships land, you can't just assume like they might be here specifically to take me out. But again, like one of the amazing things is like there's so many any of those things you have that have a drawback, like you can remove that. There's a way to remove that wanted thing if you want to. It's not like easy, but again, I just think another thing, like as you're playing, you get to evolve and change the story you're telling about who you want to be in this world. I haven't even figured out, like I haven't actually figured out, I'll think about it on the flight home, like who is my character going to be? What am I going to be about for starting
So this
tomorrow?
one is called Colonel.
Colonel.
Is there a reason?
Because he was the colonel in the military. Old guy, gray hair, looks a lot like me. We'll see what I get up to.
That's actually a good part. Do you usually build the character so it looks like you? Because I usually build my characters so they look completely different, like completely different.
He doesn't look like me. He's just old and has gray hair, and so in that respect, I think he looks exactly like me.
You had another one on your list.
Yes. What or how is your personal playstyle? Do you prefer to sneak into the opponents, or do you shoot everything that comes to your gun?
Mm-hmm. First of all, I was an actual Boy Scout. I am still a bit of a Boy Scout in our games, so I tend to usually be a little bit of a goody two shoes. Although somehow I managed to justify in my own head that lockpicking is okay. But like I won't steal stuff. I won't carry illegal contraband. Like even though some of that stuff is super valuable and like man, you can make a ton of money. But like you can also get busted and like I don't want to get in trouble. I'm a good boy or a good like hey, Colonel is he wouldn't do a bad thing that he was ordered to do, so he wouldn't just go and steal things. Like that's not how he thinks. Okay. But if you lock something and you're not going to let him in there, he takes offense at that. Like, what are you trying to keep away from me? I need to know what gun is in that locker.
Give it
Come on, let me see what's in there.
It's mine.
Yeah. But otherwise, honestly, I'm a bit of a jack of all trades. I like trying a bunch of different things. I am particularly into, especially in this game, I really love how crafting works. like researching unlocking new things to craft. Like part of that, like how did I spend 80 hours not doing the main quest is like, man, I went down the crafting rabbit hole in a big way. I was just gathering stuff to research and making all kinds of amazing weapons with cool mods. And that I think for me is almost the most fun. Like I got so into that part. But yeah, like I do some stealth. Like I don't just like walking in. So I'll try and like pull out a really sweet sniper rifle that I've built with a suppressor, so the sound isn't giving me away. I'll take out a few things, and then once chaos breaks loose, like all bets are off. But again, like I can't even talk about the combat and how I play without giving you spoilers. So like you need to try some of the main quest, and you're gonna like, like now I get it. Now I get why I have to do this and why it's a big deal.
I mean, I really want to master the persuading feature. I really want to be able to just persuade people to do what I want. Without using a weapon. I'm going to try that one.
Is there something that you've seen like that's what I want to get into? That's what I want to try?
No, but I think I need to play 2 different characters because I'm always...
A good and a bad one.
Yeah. I'm always, in my first run, I'm always the good one. In every decision, I'm always the good one, giving people food, money, and helping them. But I think in Starfield, I want also be a bad guy. I want to break in some houses or get a rest or something like that. I need to be bad.
So stuff you don't do in real life.
Yeah, stuff I can't do in real life. So let me do it.
Get up to some shenanigans.
Yeah,
absolutely. How about you, Franzi?
I want to do the persuading. Really, that's what I'm trying to master. I find that so interesting, and I try to understand the system, but I don't get the system yet.
Yeah.
So I always think, that must be the right one. That will get me where.
There's a skill that's much further down the skill tree. It's called special projects, and once you start leveling that up, you start unlocking really cool things that you can't mod or build without it.
Yeah.
And it starts to do some really amazing, like, oh wait, I can make guns that do this, and like spacesuits that do that, and starts to get like. You start making like, I'm seriously, like there's times where I'm like, dude, I'm Iron Man. Like I'm flying around in a pack, like shooting rockets, and like I'm a badass. It's pretty awesome. And so, but again, like the fun of it is you can change it minute to minute. You can be that person, and then like, the difference is like the reason it feels so big is when you're in Skyrim and you want to go from a town to town, like, it's just like there. Like you can just walk over there, or you fast travel, but they're all relative to one another. But like when you go from Aquila City to New Atlantis or Neon, like you're going to vastly different places and different systems. It just feels so much more impactful because you really feel like, I'm not just down the road from where I was. Like
it's like a different world. Out of a sudden.
Yeah.
Feels like different games.
Somebody asked, can we fly freely between planets within a system? Like, I don't know. I have not tested because it's not my thing. Like how much flying you can do in real time between things. Like it's not really my thing. I tend to jump. But every planet you see, every moon you can see, you can jump to. When you go to a system, you'll see a bunch of little icons. Again, you can see them in the Starfield Direct, and they will give you idea of where you can find things on a planet to do. Like, hey, there's something here. There's a civilian outpost. There might be an abandoned something, as well as the ones in space. Like there's a ship here or a star, and you don't know, like, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Am I going to die? Is it going to be, a quest? But it does at least give you an idea as you're exploring. Like if you're looking for something to do, like there might be something here. But you can also just, I'm just going to go land on that moon and see, like,
enjoy yourself.
Yeah, what's on that moon?
Can you loot the enemy's
armor in the game?
I mean, there's no armor. There's just your space suit.
Yeah.
But like you can take
it. Yeah.
Space suits. Yeah. You can get space suits off of folks.
And of course the weapons.
Packs, helmets, weapons.
Yeah.
I saw earlier somebody asked, "Can you get up on your get up out of your captain seat when you're in space? Yes, absolutely.
You can walk around in your space.
It's actually kind of important to be able to do that for reasons. Well, because I'm constantly overloaded with junk because I'm gathering up all of this ore and materials I need. And so, like, I fast travel back to the ship and put myself in the chair. I get up into space, and then I get up and go. And, like, okay, here's what I'm putting in my captain's locker. Here's what goes in the cargo hold. Okay, now I'm going to go to the next place.
Yeah. There are questions about level cap. Oh, God.
I don't believe we have a level cap. I mean, nobody's hit it, but I don't think there is one.
I have a very funny question. Can you kill an important character intentionally or unintentionally?
I can't answer that one because I haven't tried, but I'm pretty sure.
Maybe we should try.
You're going to try.
When I play the bad.
You report back and let us know.
I try. Yeah, of course.
Are there other cities outside the main 4? Yeah, there are. I think you just introduced.
Yeah, there's a couple of. The tone of this game is not like we left Earth and then created like 500 major cities. Like, no, that's not how humanity has expanded. Like, they've made a few big ones, but then again, like, the idea is they didn't stop there. Like, different people for different reasons. You'll come across like a group of people got together and decided we're going to go here and like create a farm and we're going to, grow crops for people on other planets and other places. So it's it's a mix of places that you're going to find. It's not like, how many major. It's going to be a whole blend of things big and small. And again, it's not even cities, right? You can go to star stations that, like, well, it might as well be a city because it's enormous, right? You can land on a giant ship that's like, that might as well be a city because it's absolutely enormous.
There was a question: can NPCs pilot your ships? I don't know.
I don't think so. I mean, I know I should know the answer to that, but I've never not wanted to fly my own ship.
Like, why would
Sorry,
it
never even occurred to me to try.
Are there Easter eggs that you found yet?
Well, if I did, I wouldn't tell you.
I love Easter eggs, so people should find them.
But yeah, I found at least one. Somebody asked, can you have multiple ships? Obviously, you can have more than one ship. Again, you're not flying a fleet. Like, this is not I'm going to have like 8 No, you're not. Like, this is about your ship is a character, right? You're not suddenly giving yourself multiple characters. This is not like I'm a fleet captain thing. You decide which of your ships you want to fly. They have different capacity. So if you have a lot of companions, you might be doing quests where like you want to like people need to get from here to there. It matters how many passengers you can carry on your ship. Or you might say, the hell with passengers, I'm carrying cargo. Like I need a 2-seater that can carry a ton of stuff. So depending on what ship changes, how much you can do of a thing. You might be really into smuggling and want a ship that has a huge shielded capacity to try and smuggle more things past folks so you can make even more loot. But again, like, there's trade-offs there.
There was a question, but it's gone already. Is it weird that we get excited that Pete doesn't know everything?
There's nobody.
I mean, you never claim that you know everything.
We talk about this all the time. Like, people have this weird perception of how game development works that like, everybody knows everything about the game. Like, no, people understand everybody doesn't work on every single thing, and it's literally impossible. So, even Todd Howard's like, I found out something yesterday. I had no idea that happened. It's such a huge game, and there's so much in it that you just can't ask one person to go, I need you to go see, and you have to compartmentalize and break it up. And work across a lot of different teams to wrangle all of that. And again, part of the fun of this is like there's not a chance all of you are going to know everything about this game a day, a week, a month after launch. Like, there's just so much that we know folks are going to find that it's going to be fun as people continue to play and continue to go like, well, like, has anybody else found, like, I just found this. Like,
and it's more fun to find it yourself, right? Yeah,
of course.
Instead of just getting it told by someone. Yeah. The fun part is finding it out. So you all have to play it, you all have to buy it. I would recommend pre-order it so you can start playing on September 1st already. Yeah. When the early access starts. Everyone else.
Do you have any tips for the begin of Starfield when people play?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to pass along some general things that aren't very spoilery. I really, really like very early on in the main quest, like almost the first thing you do after the lodge is okay, if you're going to start doing that, they're going to like, okay, we got to get some information. We got to go talk to a person or two. One of the folks you can talk to, although you don't even need to, is somebody who's a recruit for the Vanguard. And the Vanguard is like calling it military is not exactly true. It's basically like you're signing up to help the UC sort of, you're signing up for service. It might be like go, take a bunch of supplies to this outpost, or go these pirates or, these spacers are harassing somebody, go deal with them. But the beginning of the Vanguard, before you even join, he'll tell you like, you need to go downstairs and go through this thing. And you go through like a museum exhibit that does an awesome job of explaining like what happened. Why aren't we on Earth? What happened to Earth? Who's the UC? Who's the Free Star Collective? Who are these religious nut jobs? Like, it really nicely lays out for you like, okay, I'm caught up to speed now on like what's going on in this world. So I highly recommend checking that one out. I mean, I think that Vanguard quest, that's one of the things that I've set aside to do starting tomorrow, right? There's a bunch of things that I was like, I'm waiting. I'm not going to spoil that. Like, there's got to be something that I leave for myself. So, like, I'm not going to do that, or I'm not going to do that. But that's what I'm really looking forward to going further, because there's some really fun stuff along that. Here's one that is particularly because I know how Elder Scrolls and Fallout fans tend to play our games, which is when you level up, you need to be really, really thoughtful about where you put your skill points, because of the fact that in order to do the challenges of your skills so you can level it up again, you have to do that thing. So for example, like if you want to pick locks, you can't just like, oh, I saved up like 4 skill points and went level up, level up, level up, level up. It doesn't work like that. You level up once, and then it says before you can do anything, you have to go pick X number of locks.
Okay.
So like,
then you can.
So don't level up and go, oh, quick, I'm going to pick lock picking. Like, well, unless you're standing right in front of a lock, or that's what you're actively going to do. Like, wait a second. Like maybe that's what you want to do, but you might find out that you're in space and like, oh, actually what I really want to do is board another ship. Like, well, then you should have picked the targeting skill, because you could unlock that immediately, which allows you to target a ship's engines, which disables it. So you can then get close enough to board it, and then hand to hand, or however you want to kill everybody on board, to take over the ship and fly that ship, right? But if you pick lock picking before, you picked a skill that you can't actually use right now. And you could have like, oh, I could if I hadn't spent that. So like, I've really changed how I think about it. Like, I'm saving my skill points for like, I need to be able to do this now, right? Like, you put it into a research thing. If you're not planning on doing more research right now, like, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I have found it that like, I wish that I had been a little bit more
such a good advice.
And waited until like, I need to be able to do this now, and this is in my way. And because of the skill thing, everything doesn't happen quick, right? Like, so you start off, you can only, for example, fly Class A ships, right? There's multiple other classes. You can't just immediately jump to Class B. Like, you have to go do a bunch of space combat. You have to fight other ships. So if you're not actively doing that, well, don't wait until you get to the point where you're ready to do like, okay, I'm ready to go fight a bunch of ships, or like I got a mission to go take out like some Crimson Fleet ships. Like, okay, well, this is my opportunity to embrace that skill and try and complete that challenge so I can level that skill up. That one is big for me. And then the other one, honestly, is just like, do your thing, man. Like, it doesn't matter. There's no wrong way to play this game. You're not doing it right. You're not doing it wrong. Like, the whole point is it's your story. It's not ours. Like, we're not trying to ham fist anything down your throat and say, no, you must consume this thing. Like, hey, just be who you want. Do what seems fun to you. Explore. And again, you can like hop from good to bad as you hop from planet to planet. There's a way to remove bounties, like because there's so many different factions, and you might tick some of them off. Like, you can go to places where you can get your bounty removed if the Crimson Fleet is hell bent on killing you, or you did something to piss off the Free Star Collective. So like, you can always undo and find ways to kind of roll back decisions you've made. But yeah, just like try, like see. figure out what it is that you would have fun doing and just try it and see what happens. And then honestly, the other thing is like, we love it when you think like, I wonder if I could, like, oh, I love that sentence. I love that sentence because of the possibility and like, because you're being creative, like you're expressing yourself.
Yes.
Like you're not thinking like, do they want me to do this? You're like, hey, can I do this? Can I do that? Like, ooh, I could. That was awesome. And like, by the way, boost packing, pick boost packing. It's so
I was waiting for that.
important. It's so important. If you don't pick it first, like pick it second. But the boost pack is awesome, and like all skills, you cannot use it until you unlock it. So you're going to be. We've had so many people like, my boost pack is broken. I
saw that on Slack all the time, and then
it's not broken. You don't have the skill to do it. You're just jumping around with a boost pack that doesn't work. Pick the skill. But even that one, like you can put more points into it, and again, you heard us talk about in the direct how like when Tim Lamb is talking about like, you know, there's sort of the Hollywood version of something, and there's the really like brutal reality, realistic version, and then there's the like what's fun for the player. And one of the awesome things our designers do is like you can play with things like gravity a little bit. Like when people try and struggle, like why is this so different than Skyrim or Fallout? It's like, well, because we don't spend a lot of time putting you in places where we get to screw around with gravity, where like you go to use your boost pack and you're like, holy Moses, like, where am I? Like, I'm way too high. Like, I wonder if I could boost pack up to that. Like, yeah, I bet you probably could. And so people are like, oh, you know, when you explore a planet, you have to walk everywhere. Like, I don't walk anywhere. I'm boost packing all over the place. Like, did you hear my comment before about how I'm Iron Man? Like, that wasn't a joke. I'm Iron Man. I'm flying around, and I don't touch the ground because I've got enough of a boost pack skill that I just get to keep boosting myself. Like, yeah, I haven't touched down at all. There's a mountain towards, oh, that's going to be a long walk. Like, oh, wait, low gravity, high boost pack. I just jumped all the way up there and saved myself a lot of trouble. So
I can totally relate because I was the same. What am I doing wrong? It's not working. What am I doing? Then I looked it up in Slack, and everyone was asking the same questions. And I was like, okay, it's not me.
It's not my fault.
So that is actually a very, very valuable tip that people should follow, hopefully.
Yeah.
I'm more excited ever to play the game.
Is the adoring fan randomly generated, or can we customize it? Can it be a robot as well? Or the poor adoring fan?
No, an NPC is an NPC. Yeah. You don't get to change who the NPCs are in the world. Sorry.
If you could wish for one headline that media or content creators, whoever, puts out about Starfield after release, like what would you like them to say about the game?
People are loving Starfield.
Okay.
That's it. That's all I want. Like, and again, you know, I talk about this on and off. I talk about it in our team meetings when I call into the EU folks, which is like, people think about video game companies in terms of like, what franchises do they have? What engine is this on? What technology they use? You know, what number is this? What number is that? And like, that is not what I came to Bethesda for. That is not what has kept me here for 24 years. Like, it's people. Like, the people in this company are awesome. And seeing people make something that makes other people happy is amazing. Like, it's the actual best part of this job.
That's actually a good part, a good thing to say, because we talked about that last night. Because sometimes, I mean, of course, it's very stressful at the moment. I mean, the game is out in 2 weeks, so we have a lot of work to do. But then I always keep telling myself, calm down, breathe. I'm not a doctor. I'm not doing a surgery on an open heart, so no one can die.
Yeah.
But then I thought like, yeah, but it's true. But then, I mean, we are making people happy.
Yes.
We are helping people in tough situations.
And here's the other thing, which is like, I have gotten notes from people who said like, I had to have heart surgery. And the thing that got me through recovering, the thing that filled my days was your game. Like, it gave me an escape from my current crappy situation and made me feel better. It helped me recover. It helped me. And I, you know, again, I as you all know, I talk about mental health all the time. I think it's crazy important. And in whatever way something we make somebody's life better or easier is just, man, that is awesome. What a great feeling.
It is. I mean, I had the feeling in the beginning, sometimes when I said I'm working in video games, and then there were doctors or nurses, or you're like, okay, I'm just in video games.
Yeah.
But then it's like, I make people happy. Isn't that the coolest thing in the world? It's like...
And honestly, like, around a launch like this, when you see, like, all of these things swirling around us as we're going along, and all of the conversation. Like, it is important to remember, like, it is a video game. Like, next Friday, we are not trying to figure out, did Bethesda Game Studios find the cure for cancer or not? Like, that's not what we do. And by the way, like, should point out, you had an actual astronaut on your stream.
Yes.
You want to talk about, like, what does a hero look like? Like, how about somebody who actually goes into outer space? Because you know what happens in outer space? Death. Like, it is a giant death trap. And anything goes wrong at any moment, death.
That's what she actually said.
And that woman is brave enough to go, yeah, I know, I'm still going. Like,
it's like she said it takes her 6 hours to get into the proper spacesuit. If she wants to leave the spaceship and be out there, she has 8 hours. If she doesn't finish her stuff in 8 hours, that's it.
Yeah, like...
That's it. I mean...
Yeah, that's not a game. That's not like playing around and doing fun. Like, that's actually figuring out, like, how does all of that work? How do we as human beings figure out how to better, like, explore this, exist there, like, go beyond this planet that we seem to be doing an awfully good job of screwing up all on our own? You know, people who are taking the risks and going out there because it matters to them, like, that's their life's quest. Yeah. That's not what we're doing. What we're doing is taking something thematically and making it fun and bringing it to people and saying, like, hey, this is fun. And honestly, the tangential effect of somebody might actually be inspired to explore space, to want to do more with this, you know, that's all gravy. But to your point, like, we're trying to provide something immersive and fun, and quite honestly, that you feel like I've never played anything like this before in a good way. By the way, people keep asking questions like, how long does it take?
Yeah, I know. I see that. It's just
nobody.
We're not spoiling it.
In any game, like, we don't spend time. Like, how long does it take to? Like, I don't know. Just you tell us. The game will be out in a week. You go do your walking, jump around, explore the whole planet, and then tell us how long it took you to explore the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that we are just ignoring the chat, but there are also questions where we know we won't answer anything.
Or just like it's too spoiled. Like, how many creatures are there? Like, again, I haven't counted. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of them.
You will see. You will.
And,
you
and
count them
sometimes you
and
go
tell
on a
us.
planet and there's 0, and there's 0 on that one, and 0 on that one, and 0 on that one. But this one might have a bunch.
Yeah. And a lot of people have been asking about your watch. So maybe
I do love
someone
this
was
watch.
actually saying that the collector's edition already arrived today.
Really?
Oh, which
so
is quite early.
This is not
quite early.
This is not the one you all are going to have. This is a variation on it. If you notice, the actual one is gray with white underneath. This is the reverse. But I mean, I have this on because I'm testing it. Like, this is another thing.
So
like, I'm sure none of you are thinking about it, but like, hey, like, we are giving you a watch that has an app. Like, it has to work. So we have been wearing it. Like, does the step counter work? Does it control my music? Like, this is what people I don't think understand. Like, how many things we have to track down and make sure, like, we want to meet our players' expectations in every single place that they interact with us as much as humanly possible. And sometimes it feels like an impossible task, but, you know, that's what it entails. If you want to do something like Starfield, you talk about a launch like this, like, every single thing you see, every partnership, you know, whether it's Noble Chairs this or Lucozade or like
Elgato,
this amazing stream kit, like all of this is work. It's not like we just sent a thing and they went do this and we're like, yeah, done. Like, do you know how many versions of that controller we went through before we got to that one? Do you know how many times, you know, we iterated on things before we got to the version that we go, okay, that's the one. Like, that, you don't just like spend 5 minutes on it and nail it. You have to spend so much time. We obsess over details because, like, that's what makes good great.
And
great amazing. Yeah. Did we miss anything else on there? I didn't see. Mods question. Like, yeah, we're doing it. We said we are. There's going to be mods. We're going to release the creation kit. If you've played Elder Scrolls of Fallout, it's going to work like that. It's post-launch. We have no other information. We have a launch to get through, 7 days from now. And then turns out we're launching twice, which, again, to your point, like, how often do we launch it twice? Like, it's hard to ESO, I guess, kind of PC and console.
Yeah, but it's different.
Yeah, it does feel different. Yeah, but it's coming. And again, like, I get excited about this game because I love it so much, and I love what we've made and what that team made. But there's a lot more coming. And when you start to think about the kind of communities that come around Bethesda Game Studios games, and putting a tool like that in the hands of people to go, how'd you like to make a planet? Like, how'd you like to do, like, all of that is going to just be off the charts when you start getting a community to come in and add all of the different things that they want to bring to it, their own stories they want to tell, whatever it is. Or, you know, hell, I have a list of things I already want to mod, so.
That was one of my questions. Do you have a list of things you want to do? Like, because when I started playing the game, I had a notebook next to me, writing down stuff, and I was like, okay, I'm a weirdo. But I heard a lot of people are doing that.
Yeah.
Because the game is just so big.
Well, and because of what I said before, which is the game is amazing at, like, I know you thought that was what you were about to do, but I am about to distract the hell out of you in a way you're going to forget you were ever working on that. And it does help. Like, oh, I was supposed to. Like
a to-do list. For
Okay, so here's one time when that happened. I picked up, you get these mission boards that you can have, and they have different kinds of things. Some of them are just like, you know, this planet is looking for a bunch of this resource, right? And that's the kind of thing where, like, go build an outpost on a planet that has that, and you can mine it and have ships carry it to the... But sometimes it's like, hey, we have 2 people here that need to get, you know, to the Mars mining colony. And it was one of those things where I accepted it. They're on my ship. I'm playing a little bit, and then I put it down, and, like, I think I went on a trip. It may have... I don't even remember. But I came back, was doing more quests, and came onto my ship, and there were these 2 people, and I was like... Who the hell are these 2? Like, why are you on my ship? What are you doing here? And I was like, oh my God. Like, I was supposed to be taking them to Mars, and I totally forgot. And like, we're 3 systems away doing something else. They must be. So, like, okay, quick. I got to go drop these folks off and then go back. But, like, oh, I'll get back to you in a sec. Sorry. Just wait a minute. Let me go do this, and then I'll get you there. And then, like, I'm on oh, wait. We got jumped by these Crimson Fleet guys. All right, let me just do this battle real quick. And then, like, oh, wait. One of them had this thing that I was looking for, this rare material that I needed to craft this thing. Okay, let me just go grab this real quick. So, like, you can really get down the rabbit hole and forget about, like, oh yeah, that's why those people are online. I told them I was going to take them somewhere, and I still haven't done it yet. And now time is short. I better hurry up because I'm about to fail this quest.
Oh, I like that one. Yeah, so good. That's good to know that I'm not the only one who has to take notes.
Absolutely.
Let's see if there's another question. Otherwise, I think we need to come to an end.
Yeah, and again, I appreciate, like, lots of questions in here. Any number of them I avoid because, you know, I don't want to spoil or...
But there will be a big article on Bethesda.net on our blog where we just...
Oh, yeah. Super important. We put something up or are putting something up today that has a bunch of, like, get ready for launch, like, things you need to know, whether, like, you're a collector's edition person and, like, you want to know, hey, the watch, like, how is this going to work? You know, all of that stuff. We're going to put an article up just to get everybody ready.
Will it also include a shopping list? So make sure you have water at home, you have enough food at home, because you will not leave your apartment for the next month.
Put together your Starfield emergency kit for, like, I accidentally haven't left my house in 5 days, or, you know.
What did you do in the past? The doctor's note, the Pete?
Yeah, I got a doctor's note.
Note, so people don't have to go to school.
No, I'll have a doctor's note for you on Monday. I'm ready to go. I got my doctor's note ready.
I will print it and bring it to my boss.
Emil Pagliarulo helped me out with it a little bit, so I got your doctor's note ready if you need an excuse to not show up to work because you're too busy playing.
So that will definitely go up. I think we will have some starter guides in the beginning as well. At least that's what we prepared, so people have an easy time to start and don't have to start over and over again. And if you are at Gamescom, lovely people, come to our booth. We have the Starfield Theater. You can stand in line. It doesn't take too long. We have enough space. We have 300 seats in the theater, so there's enough space for everyone. We will show you the beginning of the game, how you make your character, how you feel as an astronaut. You see some of the planets already, so come by, check it out.
You can step into get your picture taken in the Constellation spacesuit?
The Constellation spacesuit. Yeah. You will feel like an astronaut, like a proper astronaut.
Like you actually have to be helped into it. Like it's a real thing. It's really cool.
So you can do that. And we have the tempo, like the cockpit, the captain's chair at the booth. So you can sit in the chair, you can move the chair, and you get some really nice gameplay.
I think it's pretty impressive.
So so there's a lot of stuff to do. So come to Gamescom, check it out. I think there are still tickets available if you have not bought some.
I honestly didn't think they could fit any more people into this building, but maybe they can.
They always can. I ensure you they can. Yeah. We talked about that.
I probably shouldn't. I'm daring somebody to now.
I think the Saturday is sold out, but I think there are still tickets for tomorrow and Sunday.
Sunday and tomorrow.
Yep.
So we are here until Sunday, 8 p.m.
Yes.
There's a lot of stuff to see. We also have Elder Scrolls Online at our booth, so shouldn't miss it.
I did have one other thing, because it just occurred to me, like Germany, huge PC market. So since we're talking about that article, want to make sure all of our PC folks really pay attention to our specs and make sure that like what you have is a great time to update your PC if you don't have it. If you if you do not have a solid state hard drive, like now is the time. You cannot play this game if you don't have a solid state drive. If your RAM is a little low, if your video card is not good enough, please, you don't deserve to play this game and should not play this game below spec. If you have one, I think you're gonna love how it looks. Like the PC hardcore folks, I'm looking at my PR guy Matt Frary out there, who is hardcore PC guy, are really pleased with how it looks. Like folks, like, man, it runs on ultra and it's just butter. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So like, if you're a PC person, we're really excited for you to play this. Obviously, feature-wise and stuff, there'll be any number of things we'll be continuing to look to support post-launch. But PC folks, definitely check that article and make sure you're intimately aware. Yeah, you got a week
to go shopping.
You can overnight your the additional RAM or that hard drive if you need to. You got enough time.
2,500 euros spent. I'm ready. Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
So I think, we have the article. So check that one out. You can come to Gamescom. Is there anything else we want to say? Probably just thank you. Thank you for the support.
Thank you, and we hope you enjoy it. And again, we can't wait to hear your stories. We can't wait to see your photo mode pictures. This is an absolute labor of love over many, many years, and an incredible amount of hard work by amazing people who I love. I love you guys and the work that you've done, and I can't wait for people to play it next week.
Me too. Me too. I'm looking forward to it. One more week to go. Guys, that was it. I think that's our Gamescom schedule for today, right? We are done?
Yeah. Yes, we are done.
So Gamescom's closing in 15 minutes. So thanks for watching. Thanks, Pete, for coming, for joining us again.
It was so fun. It was great.
We hope to have you back soon and tell us more about all the nitty details of the game. Is Todd happy? Todd is happy.
Todd is happy?
Someone is asking. Todd is always happy. Todd is happy. What?
No.
He hates this part more than I do.
Of course, because it's his baby. He's giving away his baby.
And he's handing it over to the world. And like, oh, please.
Yeah, but
love what we've created. So he's a mixture of excited and terrified, as are we all.
As we all are. Okay. So thanks a lot. We are closing now. Have a good night.
I feel the same.
Enjoy playing other games that you might play tonight, or watch TV, or do whatever. And we are off today.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow morning.
Bye-bye.
Bye.